So they tried like hell last night, Fester. I saw your little email you sent me. Welcome, folks. MJ, Fester, Michelle. It is the MJ Morning Show here on a Friday as we get ready to wrap up the week. Thought I was going to be able to chill out this weekend and kind of use the weekend to continue to catch up on my 12-hour time change as I returned home from the spring break, cross the planet scuba trip early last Sunday morning, and I'm still not back to normal. I'm still all wonky on my sleep schedule. And then I was informed that, hey, we're all going to New York this weekend, so I gotta get on an airplane later today.
All right.
So, but guess what? There's some good pizza, some good New York and Connecticut pizza in my future, my very, very near future.
We're all very happy for you.
Maybe even some Frank Pepe on Worcester and New Haven later tonight. Who the hell knows?
Again, we're all beaming with joy and pride.
Couple of slices as we land at LaGuardia later. Take Julian back to his dorm. Got a couple of New York slices I want to hit. And then Michelle's giving me the business. Why you give me the business on why are you giving me the biz that if we're landing at LaGuardia and I've got a 15-minute ride to get a great slice in Ridgewood, Queens at Mono's, why are you giving me the business? Why are you giving me?
I already explained this to you. I mean, you're really going to go to a pizza shop that only you want. So the three of us will sit in the car and watch you go in and order a slice and then come out and we'll have to sit there and wait for you to eat it.
I will
have like a slob.
I will have
sauce going everywhere.
I mean, you can drive Michelle while he's eating it. I mean,
I can just hear. I can hear Bob Seger singing. Like a slob. Remember that? Like a rock?
Yeah.
Michelle.
Like a slob.
You're the only one. And then what's going to happen? Then a little while later, we're all going to want to eat something. I'll tell you what, buddy. You do this. Then we'll all sit there patiently and watch you eat. And then when we're ready to eat a little bit later, you could sit in the car and we're going to go into a restaurant.
Let me shoot holes completely in your little.
You can't.
Yes, I can. I'm a slob, right?
You are closer to a slob than
I
not.
will have that slice eaten before I even get back to the car.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
That's a valid point.
Thank you. I walk in, I get a slice at Mono's Pizza, Ridgewood, Queens. I'm telling you right now, one of the best New York slices you can get. Mono's. It's just kind of off the beaten path. It's not like in the touristy area, but it's not far from LaGuardia where we land and get the car. I want to grab one slice. I will have the damn thing eaten.
Yep.
as I'm walking into the car, it'll be done. How long do you think it? Have you seen me eat? How long do you think it takes me to eat a slice of pizza?
It's an unnecessary detour
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
completely
Jesus.
self-focused on
Michelle,
you.
hold
So
on now.
it's not-
Hold on.
I'm not
Listen,
interested.
I mean, at the end of the day, he is funding the whole operation if we really want to get down to it.
Boo.
But,
I'll take
Hold
my
on,
half.
hold
Go.
on. Oh, are you making the breadwinner argument?
I mean, the breadwinner does
I
get
can-
a couple of considerations
So
occasionally.
if Michelle had continued with her legal profession and she was making some big bucks lawyer money, that she'd have a little
Okay.
bit.
Listen, I mean,
is that what you're
Fester,
saying?
the operation's set up the way it's
Hold
set
on.
up. I'm not trying to.
I think.
Can I tell you what he used to say to me when I would go to work?
What?
Your salary doesn't even cover your shoes. That's not even paying for the nanny.
Well, listen.
Why are you going? What are you doing?
When you started working for the state attorney's office in 2000, right?
2001.
Okay. When you started working for the state attorney's office,
Yes.
what was your salary? It's much more these days. But what was your starting salary at the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office in 2001?
$36,000 a year.
Yeah.
Plus insurance.
Three-
And they covered my bar fees.
4 years undergrad, 3 years of law school, and she started out at $36,000 a year.
And they gave you drinks too?
No, they. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I wish.
Covered her bar fee.
That'd be more than the bar fees.
I've
yes.
heard more than my fair share of lawyers that like to get pent up after hours around this
Oh
town.
yeah, we could talk about could talk about lawyers who know how to get tanked up here in
Holy
Tampa.
crap, what
Yeah.
a benefit.
Yeah.
Well played, Fester.
What is it says you used to
Hey, how about a whole bill full of gray gooses?
I'll pull that car around for you. All right, so listen, MJ.
Andrew wants to know if a whole tab of Grey Goose vodkas are those considered gray geese?
So listen,
A flock of gray geese.
you go to New York this afternoon, Michelle.
Yeah.
I mean, you've challenged the guy.
Good.
You've
Good.
you've-
That's what gray. Anyway.
You've laid out all of your concerns about him and the consumption of this pizza. Now you've challenged him. Now his mind is on it to prove you wrong. He is going to. He's a fast eater when he puts his mind to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's challenged,
Dude, I'm a fast eater when I don't put my mind to it.
it's not like you're having a conversation and
Keep
we're-
your hands and feet away from my mouth.
everything else is fair game. But once he puts his mind to it, he's going to have this thing devoured just so he can say, see, I told you it's not going to be.
I'm just Fester, you know us for a
He's
long
on,
time.
He's on alert.
You know us. The reason this runs successfully and missions get accomplished is because I'm the one who's spearheading it and
okay. All right.
on the go.
Let me get my slice after we land at LaGuardia, and then you guys get to pick wherever you else want. Why are you pushing the microphone away from you?
Because isn't it break time already?
No, I've got
Yeah, like
3
3
minutes.
minutes.
What's the matter with you?
It could be your break time. You don't really
It's
work
my
here.
break time.
All right, so Fester,
Thank you, Fester. Thank you.
I mean, if you want to have a smoke, you can. I mean, we have time.
so Fester, you took the kids to a Lightning game last night.
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
the first question is, where did you get the free tickets?
Oh, we're from the radio station.
Okay, because I know that you weren't buying any damn Lightning
No, I
tickets.
don't buy late. Listen, hold on. And I've got a question about.
Did Allison go too?
She couldn't make it, so it was me and the 2 kids.
Did you get 4 tickets though?
We had 4 tickets, which was perfect for
So
me.
would you just pick up a stranger on Jackson or something?
No,
When
I man-spread it and took up 2 seats. It was the best.
When you took out the armrest?
I kind of poured myself into half the other seat. It was great. No, the company has fantastic seats. Did you know that?
We have good seats?
Yes. I mean, most of the time they're sucked up by clients
Right.
or customers or advertisers.
So we've got good Lightning seats? Like what level?
200 level,
Right.
right on the curve. Now
Yeah.
the nice big padded seats.
Okay.
I was very
All right.
impressed with
Look at
it.
that.
But the kids, the whole damn time, were doing everything they can to be over animated
Oh, to get on
to
the
get on the jumbotron.
Oh,
They understand that.
Yes, Hadley's like,
Well, listen, your daughter Hadley is a total ham
Yeah.
sandwich, you know?
So, but Hudson's sitting next to me and he sees other kids up there. He's like, how do I get up there? I want to get on that. And I'm like, well, you better look like you're having the best time of your life.
You know what this means?
Aw.
This means we're going to have to call the kids in the car on the way to school at about 7:30.
Yeah, 7:25, 7:30.
And let's talk about their failure to get on the Lightning Jumbotron last night by trying to ham it up.
It was
Fester.
it was Hudson's first concerted effort, but he worked hard at it.
Did you incentivize it all?
With
like if you eat food really messily, like I notice sometimes or if you're like certain things.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. You would know how to behave. That gets them even more.
Michelle, when we were there recently with Andrew,
Yeah.
our buddy,
Yeah.
Andrew, our home theater friend, advanced ESI, Sarasota, getting ready to do a project for us. So when we were there with him like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
they showed some guy like shoving a hot dog in his face.
Oh, they showed a lot of people eating
Right.
food. Fester, you
See,
should have helped them out.
the kids
You
had-
could have been the slobby eater, and then they could have been like the maniacal kids jumping around you. That would have enhanced their opportunity.
Most of the Jumbotron stuff is people jumping around, having a great time, singing their heads off, or rocking out to the whatever the music is playing.
Yeah.
But the kids were dancing and going crazy the whole night, and it didn't work out. We had the camera guy in our row too.
Oh,
the camera guy was in your row?
The camera guy had the camera on them or near them where he could have swung over, but the control operator didn't take the camera. Other cameras were...
Hold on. Oh, so the camera was pointed at your kids?
It was.
But the control room director did not take camera 4. Take 4. Ready 4. Take 4.
We didn't take it. Take the fat kids.
Oh.
Fat kid, go. Fat kid on 3. 1, 2, 3,
hey,
go.
Just getting rolling. Speaking of sports, you
Yes.
got the Rays and the home opener at Steinbrenner Field later today.
It took a long time for this game to sell out.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, the problem between the city of St. Pete and the Rays, that's just getting cruising here. There's like a new round. Have you heard that the St. Pete, there's a movement in St. Pete government. They want to charge the Rays now for all the wasted time. Yeah, we got a lot to get to. This is a busy, busy show today. Don't move. Just getting rolling. It's the MJ Morning Show. It is 6:10 on 104.7 FM, Q105, MJ Morning Show broadcast. Back in seconds.
The earlier...
105, 104.7 FM. Hello to all the early adopters of the MJ Morning Show here on a Friday morning as we cruise toward finishing the week on a very, very high note. I hate doing a suck-ass show like the last show of the week because then you got to live with it all weekend long. You know, so I always strive to make sure we have a really good show on a Friday so I don't have to, wait until Monday to come back and say, oh, look, see, we can do a good show. I kind of have to prove myself. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try not to have a really sucky show on a Friday. Hey, you know those massage guns? Now, Michelle, do you remember when I was first exposed to one of those, one of those jackhammer massage guns?
No.
Oh, come on. Think about this for a second. When was I first exposed? If I called Chloe, she would remember probably, but she's probably getting in her last, hour's worth of sleep?
Yep.
Come on.
I have no idea. I don't even know that you've ever had an encounter with a massage gun.
Do you own one?
Right.
No, we do not own a massage gun. Michelle.
What?
Chloe's friend, the baseball player, brought it over to the Brownstone when we were up in New York during our little New York stint. What was that kid's name?
Reggie Jackson?
No, what? What the hell are you saying?
New York baseball player.
It's
a joke.
No, one of Chloe's friends from high school, Austin.
Yes.
Was his name Austin?
Yes. Well, he was not her friend from high school because she went to an all-girls school.
Yeah, but
in the same age. I mean, I'm sure they had a boys' school that they would, do dances.
They had
with.
friend groups that were at other schools, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah, Chloe went to all-girls high school up in Manhattan. She's a proud Marymount of Manhattan graduate for high school. Got hosed out of her 2020 high school graduation, all the class of 2020.
What's Austin doing bringing a massage gun to Chloe's house?
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
Wait a minute, why did he bring the massage gun over?
Because I think they were both athletes.
Oh, you know why? Because
right?
Chloe
needed it.
Chloe was playing, club soccer for Paul Riley out on Long Island, and I think she had a tight muscle, and Austin.
He knew exactly what to do.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Yeah.
You got to turn this into something, right?
But Austin did, or at least attempted to.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing up the massage gun, and I did give it it was like having a paint shaker combo jackhammer.
Yeah.
Like wherever you place like the head of this thing, right?
And it's got different heads. It's got this pressure point head.
Yeah, it's got a meat tenderizer head as well if you want to. You want to make some cutlets.
It's good.
All right, so the reason why I'm bringing up this massage gun is a woman uses a Theragun. Is that a brand?
Yeah.
Theragun?
I think so, because there's a lot of Thera, and then because they're using therapy.
Yeah, like Theraflu?
Right. No.
Theraflu. Remember that? Don't you you drink your flu medicine like soup?
Yes.
Right, Theraflu?
Yeah, Theragun looks like it's Theragun, Therabody, Theraflu. Okay,
All right, so here's the deal. A woman shot a video, and it's it popped up in one of my Instagram reels. So this woman shoots a video, and she talked about the danger of using a Theragun massager on your neck. Apparently, it gave her a stroke. It jammed the clot loops in her neck. And she had a stroke.
Well, should you really use that on your neck, though?
Well, you know what? I don't know if there are any warnings. She's she says she could not find any warnings after she used the Theragun massager on her neck. Hey, if anyone knows about this, phone us up.
What, warning may cause stroke? No, I mean, there's not going to be a warning on there.
Listen, I don't have a booklet. We don't own one. Is anybody listening now that has one of these massage guns, and is there any warning with the brand that you have about using it on your eyeball, your neck, or wherever, on your junk? Are there any warnings for these massage guns? Because they're powerful devices. If anyone knows, any of the early crowd knows about any warnings, or if you ever had a problem or anything, 800-990-1047 gets you on. So you can get some early phone participation here. 800-990-1047. Fester, hold on to it. Let me finish the story here. So her name is Alex. She's a cosmetic chemist, and She shared that a very close friend of hers recently had a stroke. While neurologists couldn't definitively pinpoint the cause, they speculated that her friend was using a Theragun massager on her neck, and it triggered a stroke. Holy crap. It may have led to a blood clot in her brainstem, according to neurologists. Doctors expect her friend to make a full recovery. This is at least a decent outcome here. However, Alex expressed concern over the fact that the potential risks of using a Theragun massager were not clearly communicated to her friend or to the public. All right, so what have you found online? Andrew, I see the phones are ringing a little bit here. Anyone with any substantive information? All right, let us know.
So I typed in, massage gun warnings.
Right.
And it says, while the gun can offer relief to muscles and give you relaxation, it can carry risks.
You probably want to use it on your thigh, not on your jugular vein.
It says, especially when improperly or used in vulnerable areas like the neck, the face.
Oh, it says that?
Yeah.
It does. Look at
areas
this.
with existing injuries.
This is the AI overview from the Googles.
Which I've actually come to enjoy.
Where's this coming from, though? What is it doesn't always tell you the source, though, of where the AI overview comes from. Hold on, Andrew wants to jump in. Yes, Andrew.
According to ScienceDirect.com.
Whoa, hold on. ScienceDirect.com?
Yes, there's a study that shows that neck massager can contribute to thromboembolic stroke in rare cases when...
Sounds like you're having a stroke trying to say that. Can you slow that down and say it again, please?
I'll just say that studies have been done that show that, yes, strokes can be caused by
these massage guns.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I mean, it sounds like it's a very, very, very rare occurrence, but there's a bunch of...
What are you, a scientist over here?
How
do you know it's sound very, very... How do you know?
I just made a hypothesis.
How do you know how many cases in 1,000 have a problem?
All science has started with just a statement, and that's all that was.
Whatever.
I'm beginning my research.
All right, so heads up on the massagers. And I guess we don't have any really early listeners that have anything substantive to add to this thing. You know what I'm tired of? So Michelle's all glued to March Madness last night. Michelle's got different games going on. She's recording them. She's going from the Alabama game to the Florida game to this game, then the Duke game. I've lost track. I don't know. Are you able to keep track of all this March Madness crap?
Considering that I was going back and forth between 3 games at one point, and then finish it off with the game that I said was going to be the best one of the night.
The late one?
Yeah.
Duke.
Nope.
Arkansas.
What was the late one? I don't even know.
Duke, Arizona.
I'm weaving in that.
No.
Texas
Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech and Arizona.
Texas Tech and Arkansas.
Arkansas, the Razorbacks. Yeah. So listen, I'm weaving in that of consciousness because I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. And man, I slept a lot. Yes, I'm still not there. I'll tell you what, going 12 hours ahead on the other side of the planet for a little scuba vacation, that'll screw you up coming back. I'm still not back on any kind of time frame. I mean, it's I'm able to do the show okay, but then the rest of my day is just a fart fest. It's I don't mean literally. It's just messed up.
Semi-literally.
All right, so let me tell you what I'm sick and tired of hearing of, and it happens every single year when it comes to March Madness, and other than it's sort of bracket related, but it's not specifically brackets, but it is very bracket related. But I'm not looking. What do we always hear? What story always pops up regarding March Madness? Come on.
Is it related to the actual game, or is it related to society?
It's society.
Is it the fact that last weekend would have been the number one weekend for guys to get their junk snipped?
What the hell are you
Isn't it proven research?
What?
Isn't it proven research?
What are you saying, that vasectomies go up during March Madness?
Yeah, because you're supposed to sit at home for 2 days afterwards, and then if you have a vasectomy on Wednesday afternoon.
I never heard of this.
Or first thing, if you're the first appointment Thursday morning at the tip-off of March Madness, you can watch basketball at home for 14 hours.
I never heard of this.
You never heard that?
No.
No, yeah, it's a thing.
I'm looking at a story right now. Fester is right.
Yeah. So
vasectomies increase during
Booyah.
March. What'd you say?
Booyah! Fester had it.
Oh,
it's true.
Andrew, hold on. Andrew, you've got a call for what now?
Talk on the air, man.
The massage guy. Just talk on the microphone.
Okay, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Is some medical professional who is familiar with the story of somebody who did use one of those
Massage
massagers.
guns. All right, tell them, let me finish up with this, and I'll go right. Just tell them I'll be right there. All right, so we do get a decent call. It's on hold.
But yeah, it's a thing. I think it's like one of the busiest appointment weeks of the year.
That's not what I
I
didn't know that.
I hear it every year.
All right,
you asked what happens every year.
I've never heard that, and you know what? That's valuable. That's good information. If I can learn something during the MJ Morning Show, I'm a happy camper, and I just learned that. So thank you, Fester, for educating me this morning on the broadcast. Now,
But also, wait, he's educating anybody who's considering getting a vasectomy and they're thinking about it.
Well,
now they have a year and they can do it next year.
You better hurry up because the Elite Eight is coming up fast. All right?
Tomorrow.
All right. So here's the deal. March Madness, every year, this stupid story comes around, and this year is no exception. The amount of lost productivity at the office because of everyone talking about March Madness or working on the brackets. So the latest, March Madness could potentially cost the U.S. economy up to $20 billion due to lost productivity. Every year.
Here's why that's crap. There's only 2 days where there's day games. The first Thursday and Friday.
No. They're not watching the games during the day. It's all of the yammer and the chatter and the yak and working on the brackets and everyone talking about their brackets.
You know what? Yay for MJ. He is not contributing to the loss of economic GDP.
Right,
blah, blah, blah.
You can't clap on the radio.
Yay. Honestly.
Everything you said got voided out by you clapping. So
Good.
You can't do two things like that.
All right, 6:32. Let me grab a call quickly here. It's Tammy? Tammy in Bradenton wants to go back and talk about the massage gun story we had. Tammy, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, love you guys. Originally from Kansas City, now currently living in Bradenton, Florida, but I had my CNA license and I worked at Center Point Medical Center in Independence, Missouri.
Yep.
And I actually had to push a gentleman, age of 47, to nuke med. The reason is he was having some problems with his neck. And, he was going to go to a chiropractor. And he got a massager. It was from Sharper Image down on the Kansas City Plaza. And he actually tried to sue them because of this. But he ended up having a massive stroke that paralyzed him on his left side. And the reason is because he was not sure what was going on, and it released a blood clot.
Oh, yep. See, that's the same thing they think happened to the friend of the woman we just talked about, that you're not supposed to use these Theraguns, these heavy-duty massagers on your neck.
Yes, and, they say, honestly, anywhere, and, if you really think about it, too, like heating pads and all these other things, too, you could have a stomach aneurysm. You can have, a TIA. So
yeah.
Before you do this stuff, you really need to contact a professional and make sure that, you're not bringing harm to yourself. But, yeah, that's the story, and this happened back in 2018.
I think that is very good advice. How long have you lived in Kansas City before you moved to Bradenton?
You know what? I was there for 43 years.
All right, so I've been on the plaza in Kansas City because a friend of mine back in the 80s used to work for KBEQ. The radio station used to be right on the plaza. Do you remember that station?
Oh, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I worked, I'll be 57 here soon, but I worked for Dino Hackett and Bill Moss at Celebrities. And
I have no idea who the hell they are, but I'll try.
Bill Moss.
Bill Moss and Jerry Rubberknees, or whatever the hell his name was.
They were Kansas City Chiefs players.
Oh, okay, I got you.
They had a lot of connections through the radio stations and stuff.
The old Q104 KBEQ. My buddy Greg South used to do nights there. All right, listen, I got to roll, but thanks for calling in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Call back and name the most obscure Kansas City players ever.
All right. 6:35 at the MJ Morning Show. Early Morons in the News next. Always a great pile of morons, and that rolls in minutes. Don't miss it. If you would like to get your garage door... Is flashing red and blue lights. Do not get inside thinking it's your ride share, okay? How drunk do you have to be to believe that the police car with flashing lights is your Uber?
Let me tell you, they will give you a ride.
Oh, they gave this guy a ride. This happened up in Georgia. Georgia dude opened the rear door of a police car, climbed in, told the cop at the wheel he wanted a ride home. Oh, man. I think he got a ride somewhere else. This was last Friday night, about 10 p.m. Andrew Davison, 31. Dude, this is no way to go through life. Allegedly entered the vehicle and shut the door. And you know the deal with cop cars. You might be able to open up the rear door from the outside, but if you climb in and close it, you're not getting out.
Yeah, generally speaking, the handle isn't connected to the out.
Yeah, they don't, or they have the child lock thing on or whatever, because typically they don't want any suspect in the back that's been cuffed and stuffed potentially getting out. So you can't open the door from the back of a police car, and that's obviously to protect the officer and keep the prisoner contained. Yeah, so this idiot, Andrew Dawson, entered the vehicle, shut the door. Officer Kay Thomas talked about a human being in the conveyance. Michelle, can you explain the legal speak there with conveyance?
I think it's like a structure
Like
four walls and a ceiling.
it's like a building is also
Yeah,
like it's
right.
It's
Yeah.
like specified
It's like Old English. You know, they just use it for the
Yeah.
structure.
Well, guess what? The dude is a Georgia man. But guess where this happened?
Florida?
Right here in St. Petersburg,
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Yep.
Oh,
And
good.
now for the surprise part of the story. It happened right here in St. Petersburg. The cruiser's emergency lights were flashing. So St. Pete's got what? Red and blue, right? Yeah, St. Pete, FHP are all blue. Most of the local, sheriff's offices and local police use red and blue, whereas FHP uses all blue. FWC all blue. State guys all blue.
So the vehicle is working in some capacity,
In some
right?
capacity. Yeah, the defendant stated that he wanted a ride home, according to the complaint, charging Davison with trespassing in an occupied structure.
You know what?
The conveyance being the back of a St. Petersburg police car.
What happened to the good old days when the cops would take the local drunk home. Knock on their door.
Like the Andy Griffith Show or something?
Hand the drunk to their wife or mother and be like, well, looks like Tommy had too much to drink tonight.
I'm going to try to do the... I can't whistle. So Davison, this idiot, lives in Statesboro, Georgia.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, it's about 55 miles from Savannah. Yeah, take me home to Statesboro. Hey, St. Pete cop, take me home to Statesboro, Georgia. About 55 miles from Savannah. Yeah, records don't indicate what Davison was doing in St. Pete or where the hell he was staying. Officer Kristen Thomas. Anyone know Officer Kristen Thomas with the St. Petersburg Police? If it happened to be J-Lo.
Yeah.
If it happened to be our good friend and former MJ Morning Show intern.
Officer Lopez.
Officer Lopez. We know her very, very well. Great. She was a great young woman, and now she's a great older woman. well, I can't believe, though, that she was an intern for us.
Here's the crazy thing.
Like 25 years ago.
I think she's knocking on,
retirement.
Yeah.
She has been a St. Pete cop so long that I think she's she might be in the drop program at this point.
Yeah.
Holy hell, she's great. Yeah, if anyone knows Officer J. Lopez.
C. Lopez?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
C. Lopez.
I'm sorry. If anyone knows Chrissy Lopez, St. Pete Police, she's awesome. Fantastic. Anyway, so this officer was Kristen Thomas, and according to the report, the man showed an indication of alcohol influence.
Yeah. Yeah, some good police work there, Officer Thomas.
Anyway, so Georgia guy making news right here in St. Petersburg. Next, two more morons in the news. Another Florida story. Do you remember that story of the kangaroo that was running wild?
Yeah, where was that?
Pearson, Florida. This is in the northeastern part of the state. So is that near Jacksonville? Pearson? Is that near the Georgia line?
Pearson.
Sort of off I-10? Where the hell is Pearson?
Let me pull up my map.
Anyway, the owner, I remember the story because it happened some time ago. The owner of a kangaroo that was spotted last year hopping around Pearson, Florida, has received almost $1,000 in fines and costs during a hearing that occurred on Wednesday. Scott Mitchell pleaded no contest to one count of possession of a captive wild animal for commercial or sanctuary purposes without a permit. Who would have thunk? Who knew you needed a permit to have a kangaroo here in Florida?
Some states are really, really easy on exotic animal licensing, and other states really crack down on it.
What if I want a hippopotamus? Do I have to have a permit for that?
Wasn't there a drug dealer that introduced all kinds of hippos?
Yeah, what was that story? The
the hippos of Colombia. Escobar brought.
Oh, that's right.
Hippos.
That's right. Oh, from what was the series we watched that was fantastic with Pedro?
Narcos.
Oh, Narcos. Yeah, was that in Narcos?
I don't remember if that was in Narcos.
I remember watching a documentary about Pablo Escobar.
No. We watched some show where I think they had Pablo Escobar and his pet hippos. And man, hippos are nasty. You want to get rid of somebody? You throw the body into the hippo pool, they're done. They're chewed up like a garbage disposal. Anyway, so this guy Mitchell's attorney, Carlos Vidal Calazo, said that he reached an agreement with the state attorney's office to issue his client a $400 fine, as well as have him donate $250 to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission's Wildlife Alert, and pay approximately $320 for the investigative costs. Yeah, so Mitchell has 90 days to pay the fines. This guy had a kangaroo that got loose and was hopping all over the place. He didn't have a permit. So please, remember, if you have a kangaroo here in Florida, you got to have a permit.
Are kangaroos friendly animals?
No.
I got swatted by one on our honeymoon in Australia. Ask me, do you have that on video?
Probably.
I think we have that on High 8. I got to get that transferred from the video guy that will transfer all my old videos.
If you encountered a kangaroo, What do you think you would not do?
But touch his head, try to put my hand in the pouch.
Try to put your hand in the pouch.
Okay.
I tried to put my hand in the
What are
kangaroo's
you
pouch,
doing?
and the kangaroo just, swatted my ass.
And the kangaroo was taller than you.
Yeah, the kangaroo, pow, he swatted me. And man, that's a punch, man. It was like, because it has like a hoof.
Mm-hmm.
And the kangaroo, whatever, I got swatted, and I don't even remember what. Or I'm sorry, she, because it was a pouched kangaroo, so I got swatted by the female. And man, they do pack a punch, and I believe they can also kick the living crap out of you as well.
Yeah, they can prop their body weight on their tail and just use those thrusting legs as weapons.
Yeah. Hey, another Florida story. We're all Florida on Morons in the News today. Man, this is terrible. Listen to this headline from Channel 8. Venice man shoots childhood best friend after a Facebook argument. That's awful. A Venice man was arrested early this week. Deputies said he shot his childhood best friend.
Where?
Because they had an argument that started on Facebook. NBC affiliate down in Fort Myers, WBBH, reported that Kevin Johnson and his longtime friend had a conversation that escalated into an intense back and forth on Facebook, probably political, probably a politics-related argument. They decided to settle the dispute at Johnson's Venice home. Sarasota County deputies said both men agreed to meet without weapons, but the victim brought another man with him. When the two men knocked on Johnson's door, Johnson opened fire and took off. What the hell? Childhood best friends?
No word on what the argument was about?
No. We live in a crazy world. Bruce Carruthers, a neighbor, told WBBH down in Fort Myers.
Thanks, Bruce.
You never know how people will react. Johnson was tracked down in Englewood in Charlotte County. Deputies took him into custody. He continues to recover, so the gunshot wounds were not fatal.
Oh.
But we don't know what the argument on Facebook was all about.
So he didn't get shot in the face because that probably would have killed him, right?
Oh, you're thinking that it was Facebook? That if you get into an altercation, you punch somebody in the face if it's Facebook?
I mean,
or you shoot them in the face if it's Facebook?
It's just really...
If it was Tushbook, you shoot him in the ass?
It's really unfortunate that there's a specific body part.
I just came up with the Tushbook.
It's probably a thing. You probably didn't come up with it.
Assbook. Don't go to assbook.com.
It's probably out there.
Whatever you do, don't go to assbook.com.
Probably a subscription.
Probably so. All right, 6:53 at the MJ Morning Show. Hey, when we get back, 7 o'clock hour starts. Do you know what sleeping poorly? This is bizarre. If you sleep poorly, this will increase your chances of believing in blank. In this. You got to hear, this is bizarre. Wait till you hear this. That's coming up in just a minute. Also, a bizarre encounter. A server is spilling the beans on a bizarre table that she waited on at a Texas Roadhouse restaurant. So, what happened? What happened to Texas Roadhouse that was bizarre that the server is telling the story about what the hell did they do this to me for? All right, that's next, plus more. Don't move. All next. MJ Morning Show here on Q105, 104.7 FM. You know what I watched? Did you know that there was a new vacation movie that was done like in 2015? Who's the dude from The Office? What's his name?
Steve Carell.
No. Ed Helms.
Ed Helms?
Yes, yeah. Ed Helms. On one of my flights, I watched. This is when I went over to the Philippines over the last couple of weeks, and I watched the vacation movie from 2015, and the premise was that it was Rusty, the kid, so Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo's son.
Yeah.
It picked up the story with him as an adult, and I wasn't expecting much, but it was a lot better than I expected. Yeah. And also, while we were on vacation, was it Gino? Gino, who does our afternoon show here on Q105, he sent me an email. Hey, there's an interview opportunity for Ed Helms. But I had to record it like at 2 p.m. in the afternoon or something. I'm
Sorry, Ed.
Yeah, I'm not doing recorded interviews.
With all respect.
Yeah. And listen, I like Ed Helms. I think he's funny, but what am I going to interview Ed Helms? Hold on, so let me find this.
What was he promoting?
Hang on, let me find the email.
You just want to have like an opportunity to talk to his B+ celebrity.
All right, listen to this. So Gino, our afternoon guy, sends me this. Premier guest booking opportunity, Ed Helms. He sent me this on Thursday, March 20th. I'm still over in the Philippines. Ed Helms of The Office, host of podcast Snafu, now in third season, when Thursday, April 3rd from 10 a.m. to noon. Phoner or Zoom?
And he wants to use terrestrial radio to promote his podcast?
I want to promote people leaving our radio station to go listen to something else.
I support people in their endeavors, but I don't necessarily believe in that. So.
Anyway, but I just, I used the Holiday Road from Vacation, as the rejoined bumper music just now. And it just reminded me, I watched this Vacation thing from 2015, and it was actually much better than I expected. I found myself actually laughing out loud quite a bit. All right, so I teased a couple of things. This is fascinating. Listen to this. If you sleep poorly, can you close that door?
Yeah.
I don't know where the noise is coming from down there. We got to keep the door open because the air conditioning still sucks in here. They promised me in the new studio that our air conditioning is going to be very comfy.
Whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, Cleveland.
Whatever. So,
sleeping poorly makes people believe in this. I'm like, what? It's like, where did this come from? If you sleep poorly, it increases the likelihood that you will believe in. Want to take some guesses?
It could be anything.
Come on, take some guesses. Michelle, come on, take a guess. Sleeping poorly makes people more likely to believe in blank.
Spirits.
You know, you're getting closer.
Ghosts.
That's you know what? It's not that. No, and no. But you know, I think you're kind of barking up the right tree.
What, monsters? I mean,
You're close. Conspiracy theories. This is bizarre. This is one of those, study finds. From the Study Finds website, poor sleep quality significantly increases your susceptibility to conspiracy theories, creating a feedback loop where sleep issues and conspiracy beliefs may reinforce each other.
okay. All right. How did they come? I don't know about this.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now that the conspiracy theory crap that goes around these days is out of control. It is completely nuts. And I know people. Do you know how many people that I encounter that I know, friends, acquaintances, that I have to walk them off the ledge of conspiracy theories or the crap that they stumble upon on TikTok or Instagram? It's extreme.
You're a better friend than I am. I let him go with it. I mean, whatever, dude. But does the belief in this keep him up at night?
That's what I think. I think it's the other way around.
Dr. Daniel Jolly and his team ran 2 studies over 1,100 participants to see how sleep affects our thinking and mental state. We know a lot about the cognitive biases, social influences, and personal traits that explain why people believe in conspiracy theories. However, previous research has typically overlooked how sleep, especially poor sleep quality, may impact conspiracy beliefs. Anyway, this is a 10-page report, but just the headline is that if you are a poor sleeper, you don't get good quality sleep, the possibility that you believe in conspiracy theories is higher.
I think it's the other way around.
It's flipped. If your mind's working so fast that you're believing everything that's being thrown at you, or you're really invested in a few of them to where you really want to talk about them all the time, either in person or online,
right?
You're going to lose sleep.
Yeah, you're not sleeping so well.
Listen to this. Moving along. Texas Roadhouse.
See, that's something I believe.
Those
are good yeast rolls.
Man, those things are like crack.
Yeah.
I had never been to a Texas Roadhouse, but doing ride-alongs with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the Texas Roadhouse out in Brandon.
Yeah.
What is that on Falkenberg? Heading over to Causeway. There's like a Texas Roadhouse right in there. And I've been there numerous times while, grabbing lunch during an HCSO ride-along. And those yeast rolls, you got to tell them, get these things away from me. Get these rolls out of my face. Stop. Before you know it, you've ingested 3,900 calories of these little rolls.
And then you get your meal and you're like, ugh, put it in a box.
I'm not hungry. I just had 400 of these damn yeast rolls. All right, so listen to this. This happened at a Texas Roadhouse, and usually, it's the customer's complaining about the server, or like the check, or the server wrote something on the check. I'm not saying Texas Roadhouse specifically, but in this particular case, the customers handed the server a note. So the server comes up to the table. Hey, how you doing? Can I get you guys some drinks? Get you started with some? And the customers at the table at Texas Roadhouse just hand the server this written note. Guess what it has? Their complete order is written out with specifics on how they want each steak cooked. Is that a little much? The server's like, wait, you know what? I write this stuff down. You don't have to hand me a the customers walk into Texas Roadhouse with a printed out or a handwritten print with a document that documents their order with specifics on how they want everything done.
Are they trying to make it easy on the server?
Right.
Like, let me help you. This is exactly how we want it.
Or do they think the server's a moron and can't follow the directions?
It's entirely possible.
Listen, this is crazy. Most people, when you go to a restaurant, you let the server approach, you place your order, you make any specifics that you want as far as if it's a steak, how you want it cooked, etc. They always ask you, how do you want that cooked?
Was it anything out of the ordinary? I mean, you couldn't just say, I want it medium rare, don't use the extra spices. I mean,
Amya.
add no salt.
Amya, A-M-Y-A. I've never seen that name. A-M-Y-A. Server at Texas Roadhouse, in a Texas Roadhouse uniform with a name tag that says Amya. Amya?
A-M-Y is Amy.
A-M-Y, but then I've never heard of this name. And explains what happened. And she says that I go to the table, ask
Amaya.
Amaya?
Amaya.
Amaya?
Just thought of it. Sounded out. Amaya.
Whatever. So she says she goes to the table, asks them how they were doing, and they give her the note. Then she holds up the sheet of paper. It appears to have the entire table's order neatly printed out. So I don't know if it was printed out on like a Word document or whether it was just handwritten in nice legible handwritten print.
It's odd, but is it considerate?
Right. I'm a little I feel conflicted. Like, should I be impressed by their level of preparedness when they go to Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Or are they just, I don't know, one of those people that's like organized kind of thing?
I went into this story wanting to be mad at these people or find a reason to vilify them, but now I'm
Right.
like, okay, that's really prepared.
So each steak, how they wanted it cooked, which sides they want, instructions about their salads and drink order. Every single instruction for every single person at the table is on this document that they handed the server at Texas Roadhouse.
Fester,
I'm not mad at this.
when you sit down at a restaurant
Yeah.
and the server comes over, they're writing stuff down.
Yeah.
Now they don't have to write it down. They gave it to her. And what does the server do after she takes your order, whether she writes it down or she's presented with that note?
Puts it into the system.
So now she doesn't have to write it down.
Yeah.
Now they give her the note and she can go right to the system and punch it all in. It's efficient, that the table turns more quickly.
All right, hang on. There's a little more to the story.
Oh, did you get to the end?
Well,
What is the last line of the notes?
no, there's just one more component that I want to introduce. They didn't talk to her. They just handed her the note. So
I'll tell you right now,
they didn't speak.
talking to the server sometimes is really overrated. Really overrated.
How's that?
I mean, I don't need to strike up a conversation. I don't need to tell you if it's my first time here. Here's the order. Thank you very much. A tip will be at the end. You know, I mean, it's a very transactional relationship.
Right. No,
You know.
MJ likes to have a conversation.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't want to have a personal
Yes, you do.
relationship with the server.
See, I always
Stop.
remember the server's name.
Stop.
And I'll address them as their name as over the course of the meal. And my wife's like, they don't care about you other than this meal. I mean, they want you to have a good experience, but don't call Becca over for refills on sweet tea, you know. I don't know. I'm not mad at this.
Yeah, I'm not as mad as I think you thought it
All
would
right,
be.
just think about that for a minute. Also think about this. Is this child abuse? There is video that's popped up of a husband and wife taking their toddler, 2-year-old toddler, and putting it up on a shelf at a store because the item was all the way in the back. So they shoved their toddler onto the shelf to climb back and get the last item on the way back of a deep shelf. You know, you've seen this, you know, like the big racks at Costco or Sam's Club, but this was more of a grocery store setup with very deep shelves, and they could not reach the box of product that they wanted. So they took their toddler, and it was like, this was like at eye level. So it was kind of high, a high shelf. They take their toddler and they shove them into the shelf and have the toddler retrieve the box like a trained monkey.
I think it's resourceful.
Yeah, I think it's actually incorporating the kid in the shopping experience. And I won't lie, the top shelf of Publix is really high. I mean, I'm 6'4" in pumps.
You're not. Get out of here. You're 6. You're
6 foot.
You're 6 feet.
I said 6'4" in pumps.
You don't wear pumps. Stop it.
Occasionally. For the boys. Anyway, but my point is, it's up high.
You got a drag show this weekend?
It's over my head. Not this weekend, but next. It's over my head. And if it was the last one in the back, I'd have difficulty reaching it. I've reached up for old ladies before. I've gotten stuff.
Right.
I'd see like this old geezer just looking up at something longingly. I'm like, can I help you with that? And here you go. And I'd be like, thank you, Shani. You know, but yeah, I think it's including the kid in the shopping experience. When you
So-
said it's child abuse, I thought you'd say you smacked
No,
the crap out of
no,
the
no.
kid in the eye.
I didn't say it was child
The
abuse.
first thing you said is this child abuse?
I didn't say it was. I said I'm asking a question. Is it child abuse? Because some people are screaming at the parents that how dare you use your kid as like a grappler monkey. Using your kid as a tool.
Okay.
You've got the grappler device that you can grab things.
Yeah, I have one. I love those.
Yeah, but just stick your kid in there to get it.
Fester,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Michelle.
is this any different than you saying, "Hey Hadley, go grab me a water," or "Hadley, go grab me those chips from the pantry"?
They're putting them to work. None of the internet trolls who complained about this have children
True.
Yeah. or relationships with their parents.
That's one of the benefits of having a kid.
Yeah.
Go do this right now.
Do this now. Why? Because I told you. That's why.
Exactly.
Hey,
Go.
I've got something I got to call Joe the plumber on. If I do this quickly, listen to this. A plumber had a dispute with the client. The client did not pay the plumber.
Oh, no.
The plumber went back to reclog the drain. I guess it was like an outside trap. This is crazy. This is actually was a business. Evansville, Indiana. Owners of an East Side restaurant say they feel extorted. They say their plumber returned to reclog their pipes after a dispute over the bill. It's Thai Bistro and Bar Operations Manager Jesse Sanders, which, by the way, that is a very Thai-sounding name.
Yeah,
Very.
What part of Thailand?
Oh, speaking of Thailand, did you see the massive earthquake they had overnight? Holy frig. Andrew, do me a favor. Pull the latest on the Thailand in Bangkok. They had like a 7.7. Some buildings collapsed. I mean, some crazy crap. So we'll get to that when we do the hour and 20 minutes of Nonstop MJ coming up in a few minutes. But this bistro, a Thai bistro and bar operations manager, Jesse Sanders, sounds like he was born right in Bangkok, huh? Yeah. Says that when their kitchen's grease trap started to overflow, they called Heaven Plumbing to fix the block. 3 days later, happened again. They had a dispute, called the plumber back. Anyway, there was some kind of dispute on the billing, and they didn't pay the bill. They say they received a bill for nearly double what they had already paid, so they wouldn't pay it. They're in an argument. The guy comes back and packs their pipe with grease and blocks their pipe for not paying.
So here's the thing. If you have somebody to the house or to the business twice, and they didn't do the job the first time, is that 2 service calls?
I think that's their argument, right?
Listen,
did the bills double?
No, I think you have to go out complimentary and fix the problem that you didn't fix the first time.
So Heaven's Gate, whatever the name of this plumbing company is, they go out the first time, don't do the job, come out the second time, finally remedy it, then charge double, and then reclog?
Also, it's not Heaven.
No, doesn't sound like Heaven.
It's HEV.
Oh, Hevrin.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's Hevrin Plumbing.
Oh.
Heavrin Plumbing.
Good morning.
Is this Joe? Joe, are you listening to the show right now?
I am.
All right. So, folks, this is Joe the Plumber, Gonzalez Plumbing, the oldest plumbing company in the Tampa Bay area since, 1925?
1929.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I'm
MJ
off.
the exaggerator over here.
All right. So, Joe, have you ever heard of reclogging a pipe over a billing dispute?
No, but that's a good one.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
I know that somebody very close in my family one time wasn't paid for installing a booster pump in a commercial building, and that family member went in the middle of the night and removed the pump. And when the customer came the next morning into their office building and they didn't have water, they called, and that family member said, "Oh, well, those pumps had a recall on them. We had to get them in for service. But by the way, you haven't paid us." So they had to pay to get their pumps back.
Well, there you go. All right, Joe. Always great to have Joe the Plumber on.
Listen, I've heard of MJ.
Have a good morning.
I've
You
heard
too.
of a guy who put up like neon signs or signs outside of businesses, and then the business didn't pay him, and he went back and he took the sign down. I've seen videos of guys who repossessed their porch that they built for a family.
All right, 7:19 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. Guess what popped up yesterday? Well, it was sitting in my mail, but my mail had piled up because I was away. I've got an IRS problem. The IRS is after me. And hang on, I'll explain. And this goes back to something I talked about extensively last year. Oh, boy, son of a... So we'll get to that coming up in just a bit here on the MJ Morning Show. Also, Michelle, I've got a designer handbag question for you. Also, adult tantrums coming up on the MJ Morning Show. Fester is incensed over Mega Millions. Also, we got some wacko kid threatened to shoot up Plant High School.
So what's that?
And we got a lot of stuff coming up next. And also, we got to call your kids in the car on the way to school because they tried like hell to get on the overhead
the Jumbotron.
the Jumbotron
Is it called the
screen
Jumbotron?
at the Lightning game last night.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got a lot next on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Don't move. And incidentally, this synthesizer sound you're hearing is actually Rick Wakeman. Rick Wakeman, famous for being in what band, Fester, for $1,000?
I don't know.
For $1,000, Rick Wakeman was the keyboardist in what band? Come on.
Aha.
No, not Aha. Come on. Michelle, do you know Rick Wakeman was the keyboardist in what band? Come
Flock
on.
of Seagulls.
Flock
Yes.
of Seagulls?
Flock of Seagulls.
Oh, Kaja Gugu.
Not Kajagoogoo. All right, let me give you a hint. It starts like this.
Oh, Wang Chung.
That's not Wang Chung.
I know that song.
What
Hold on.
song is that? All right, listen carefully. Little blurb here. What song is that? Who can tell what song that is? Just from that little bitty. That's it. Who knows? All right, let's go to phones on it. I'm going to put off what I was going to do for just a minute. 800-990-1047. We just had a commercial. Rick Wakeman's going to be performing in town. Rick Wakeman. Don't look it up, folks. If you know it, then just call
people
up.
who know. There are people who know.
800-990-1047. The hint is this song.
Is it, you want me to,
Well, now we're taking guesses. I mean, you had to.
What do you think it is?
In Excess?
No, that's not In Excess. All right, wrong. 800-990-1047. Who knows, just with this little blurb of an audio blip, what song? Well, every line is ringing. People know. People know. This is a little audio quiz here on the MJ Morning Show. All right, let me grab Leslie and Seminole. First caller in and screen. Let's see if Leslie knows. Please put Leslie on hold. Andrew? All right, Leslie on hold. Leslie knows the song, but not the band. Leslie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
but
it Owner of a Lonely Heart?
yeah, but you got to know the band.
Leslie,
Oh,
what are you doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no prize
Oh.
anyway. It's not like you're losing out on anything. 'Cause
I
I got nothing. We
No.
got crap to give away around here.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Thanks. Well, you guys have a great day.
You too, Leslie.
So-
Drew in Clearwater. Drew, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hello, Drew.
Good morning, MJ.
Yes,
That's Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes.
that is correct. The answer is yes. So Rick Wakeman was the keyboardist for Yes, and solo career as well. And he's going to be at the Capitol Theater. Is that what the commercial said recently?
That's cool.
Or soon, or whatever. All right, hey Drew, thanks for playing along, buddy.
Thanks, MJ. Have a great day.
And every line is ringing. Whoever called in, thank you very much. Andrew's got to talk all these people down now. Appreciate it. All right, so what did I tease? Oh, we got to call your wife quickly.
Okay.
I want to call Fester's wife, Allison. The kids are in the car getting ready to be dropped off at school. Fester mentioned this first thing this morning. Fester took the kids to a Lightning game at Amalie last night, and the kids were in hyper overdrive doing everything possible.
Everything.
To get on the Jumbotron, as like a goofy audience member, a goofy spectator, and whatever Fester's kids didn't work.
We just didn't. The placement wasn't right. It just
What do you mean the placement wasn't right?
The camera guy has to be on you. Then they have to take the camera. Then you got to be doing something interesting. You can't be sitting there just picking your nose.
No, I think that would get you on the camera.
You know what?
Oh, they love nose pickers.
Don't tell Hadley
Especially
that.
on the kiss cam. The nose picker kiss cam.
Oh.
Yes. All right, let's try to get your very entertaining daughter, Hadley, on the phone. See who's going to answer.
Hello.
Allison?
Yes.
MJ, Fester, Michelle, MJ Morning Show Live. Are you guys listening in the car right now?
We just started listening. Yes.
Were you aware that your kids were doing everything to try to get on the Jumbotron at the Lightning game last night, but were unsuccessful?
You know what? I was not until you just said that. I was at work last night, so this is news to me, but it does not surprise me.
Yep, working the overnight shift at Wawa.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's right.
put Hadley on the phone.
Okay, here she is.
Hello, Mr. MJ.
Whoa, wait.
I love it.
What the hell's that?
Sounds like she's got a beard now. So, Hadley, I'm very disappointed that you could not get on the Jumbotron at the Lightning game.
The kid who did get on the Jumbotron was a kid like 2 feet over, and I heard him and his dad going to the help center and saying that it was his first time, so...
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. They planted it? They went to the help center? Wait a minute. You can go to the info desk at Amalie Arena and make a request to get on the Jumbo with some kind of story that, it's their first time ever at a Lightning game.
So hold on.
It's my first time ever from leaving the house. They had me chained up for the first 11 years of my life.
So the Lightning...
Put me on the Jumbotron.
The Lightning last night, I didn't even know this was a hockey team. The name of the hockey team is called Utah. It's like there's no team like the Utah Unicorns or anything.
It's the Utah Hockey Club.
I had no idea that's even a team.
Yeah, they kind of need to get a name.
Yeah, so
how about the Utah Magic Underwear or something?
Anything would work, right? So it's Lightning Utah, and instantly the Lightning score a couple of points. They beat them like 8-0. Right? They really killed them, and it was really, really loud in there for Hudson. And Hadley volunteered to get up and find him little styrofoam earplugs. Okay. And they give them away at the customer service counter. So you saw the kid next to us at the customer service counter, Had?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the trick. You gotta set it up. Hey, and speaking of loud stuff at the Lightning, when Michelle and I were there recently with our buddy Andrew, I saw some very young kids there, and they brought like ear muffs.
And that's on me. I didn't think of it.
Like the ears you wear when you go to a shooting range.
Yeah.
Some kids had those things on.
I probably should have brought a pair of those for Hudson.
All right, well, Hadley, you know what you got to do. Next time you got to go to the info desk at the Amalie Arena and make up a story. This is the first time. I tell you, you go to the info desk and tell them that you've just left the hospital. You only have like a week to live.
Yes, Hadley.
There's paperwork you have to do to get onto there to confirm it is your first time. And honestly,
how the hell do they know? What paperwork do you have to?
Paperwork.
Listen,
doesn't have a file.
She's explaining what she observed.
Well, apparently so. But what paperwork? How do they know it's your first time at the Amalie Arena at a Lightning game to get on the Jumbotron?
So do you remember?
I think it's like your seat.
You can say whatever the hell you want.
No.
What?
Not if they check your seats to see if you're like season ticket holders or if maybe you share those tickets with someone.
Hadley, here's what I want you to do. I want to go through a little exercise right now. I want you to pretend that I'm the Lightning info desk at Amalie Arena, and I want you to make up a disease. You got a very deadly disease. You only have a week to live, and your father was able to take you tonight, and you need to get on the Jumbotron. Okay, I'm the person you have to convince. Go.
Hello. What is your name? Oh, MJ. Hi.
Hi.
I have smallpox and giardia, and I have like a week left to live. Can I get on the Jumbotron because this is my first Rays game?
Lightning game.
Lightning game.
We're going to worry about the Rays next week.
Look, it's the disease is affecting your brain, all right?
Yes. Giardia from drinking all that swamp water in the backyard.
All right. Have a great day at school, Hadley.
Wait, Hadley. The Lightning scored a lot last night, right?
Yeah, it was like 6-0.
It was 6-0 when we left. It was 7-0 when we left. The final score was 8-0.
Sounds like this Utah team needs more than just a name.
Look, after every goal.
Sounds like they need a goalie.
After every no, they had open net the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
So after every goal, they play the horn twice, and then they played the same song after every goal. I don't know if this was the case during the game you guys went to, but Hadley, do you remember the song they played last night after every goal that you and Hudson were screaming at the top of your lungs?
I forgot it. It's one of the songs you play here.
Was it that? Did they play that?
No.
Did they play this? Was it that?
Hadley, come on, I'm disappointed. It was Living on a Prayer.
Oh, halfway
They played
there.
the hook.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Screaming Squidward in a chair, though.
Yeah, that's right. We sang the Squidward in a chair version of Living on a Prayer every time. You're right, Hadley.
How does that go? Sing it for us.
Squidward in a chair.
Sing the whole damn
Take
thing.
my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, Squidward in a chair.
Squidward from SpongeBob.
All right, goodbye. Thanks, Hadley. Great
All right,
to have
hey,
you on.
Have a good day at school. Don't take any crap from anybody.
Yeah. Hey, we have a Plant High School student. What a schmuck.
Yeah.
You know, your kids are on the way to school, and I guess this kind of fits in. Two quick school stories. Plant High School student arrested this week. Cops said she threatened to shoot up the school. This is a girl. You know, usually you would associate that kind of behavior with a stupid boy, but this is a stupid girl. According to TPD, the 15-year-old posted, quote, "That's it. I'm shooting up my school," on social media. Yeah, that didn't get her too far. Told detectives she posted the threat because she was pissed off because she had a fight with a friend. Well, there you go. Then you have a fight with a friend, so you threaten to shoot up Plant High School in South Tampa. What an idiot. Yeah, I wonder what if she's going to be back at the school this year?
Did I see she was a freshman?
Yeah, freshman.
Oh,
Yep.
dumb kid.
15-year-old charged with one felony count of written or electronic threat to conduct a mass shooting or act of terrorism. Chief Burkaw, friend of the MJ Morning Show, chief of police, city of Tampa. Anyone who thinks making a joke about shooting up a school is harmless is gravely mistaken. We take the safety of our students and staff extremely seriously. I want to thank the community for promptly reporting threats and working with our dedicated officers and detectives to help keep our children safe. Yes. Thank you,
If
Chief.
you're on the receiving end of that message, if you're having a conversation with a friend, you know, you're a young person, and they make a threat like that, you have got to tell somebody.
Listen to this. This did not, absolutely, 100%. This did not happen locally, but I just think of somebody like Fester, because Fester, you weigh what,
141 pounds?
Oh, you're not 350 right now.
The tapeworm is doing their job.
Because you were like, I think, 353 the last time I asked you. Now you're down to 341? What are you on, Jardians? Or Ozempic? Or what are you?
I have Giardia.
Giardia.
Yeah.
Listen to this. A 350-pound teacher in Minnesota charged with using a 6th grade student as a step stool. Now, listen to this. Now the 6th grader is walking like an 80-year-old because the kid's back is all frigged up because the teacher had the kid like get down and act like a step stool. So the teacher, 350-pound teacher.
This fat teacher couldn't find like a chair or a step stool or a little ladder or
the
something?
Kid was the step stool. Jason Rogers, 48, confessed to standing on the boy's back after a student opted to lie on his stomach instead of sitting down during the drill, some drill or whatever. I don't know. Anyway.
So he stood on him.
Used the kid as a step stool. I thought maybe to get something, but maybe not. The boy's mother said that the son was injured so badly that he's walking around like an 80-year-old from the pain in the back. Criminal complaint. Man, look at this. Let me hold this up to MJTV. Look at this guy. That's a big dude. Look at Jason, the 350-pound sixth grade teacher.
All right.
Holy crap.
So in the 350-pound men club,
Yeah.
there are bigger, broader, barrel-chested guys. I put myself in that category. And then there are disgustingly fat guys, like where the guts slap in their knees and they have like a waddle to their walk. And it's like, what's with that? And then you have questions about how maintenance happens. But that guy's huge. I mean, he might be like 5'6". I mean, 5'6", 350 is.
How could you tell how tall he is from the picture?
Because look at how fat he is. Look at how fat
this
he is.
guy, man, dude, this guy's like twice as wide as you. You know what? Maybe he is shorter.
Yeah,
because he's like twice as wide as you.
His gut hangs down to like the top of his toes.
Yeah, that's nuts. All right, so you're pissed off at Mega Millions.
You know what? This is enough to get me to stop really casually playing.
They are jamming up the cost of Mega Millions, I mean, dramatically, like twice the price. And is the so-called benefit of reducing the odds, or I should say increasing the odds, reducing the ridiculous, 1 in 300 million to win. So that's what they're claiming. But soon.
How would the odds change? The numbers are the same. Are they adding numbers? I saw the price difference. That's pissed me off.
Yeah. Mega Millions, officials confirmed the pending changes in October, but they're going to go into effect shortly. I guess the new Mega Millions prize matrix goes into effect on April 8th. So
yeah, so the last
just over a week.
The last cheap drawing is next Friday.
So right now, one line of Mega Millions numbers costs you $2. If you want to do the Megaplier, that's another $1 for a total of a $3 ticket. So with the new game change on April 8th with Mega Millions, the competitive Powerball, that same line is going to cost you $5. But the new minimum non-jackpot prize is $10. 5 times that of the current minimum prize of $2. So, but they're jamming up the price. Is that going to hurt sales?
So here's my deal: $2 or multiple of $2 is something I really don't have to spend that much time thinking about. I'll give $2. I'll lose $2. I don't care. What's $2?
The same line. So the $3 is now going to cost you $5.
Right.
For one ticket.
But then you drop a 10 or a 20 and you get 10 entries into the Mega Millions. It makes you feel like you have a tangible piece of real estate in this game that you're not going to win anyway.
All right, let me talk about my IRS issue here. Speaking of money. Do you remember what my issue was with the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, last year?
Yes, they tried to jack you up to the 95% tax bracket.
No. Remember what happened? Remember I mailed my my 2 checks, my tax due and my estimated. I mailed those on the morning of April 15th, 2024. I went to the Tampa. You know what? I'm such a bozo. I don't know why I wasn't just doing it online and paying it, putting in my the ACH, the deduction out of the bank. I don't know why. For whatever reason.
Because you're a dork. That's why.
Yes.
Because you think there's some nostalgia to going to the post office and dropping the letter. You think you're a better citizen than everybody else.
No. Listen, I do plenty of stuff electronically. I've got plenty of ACH payments. But for whatever reason, I'm still kicking it old school.
Didn't your accountant say, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Listen, he made the suggestion.
Let me just tell the freaking story. So last April 15th, I put 2 checks in the mail, and these were priority mail, trackable with the 9505 tracking number, the whole deal. And I did these right before I came to the studio. It was 5 a.m., April 15th of last year is when I went to the post. I think was it April 15th, or was it like a weekend and it was a day, whatever the story was. It was the day that the tax was due. I went to the post office and I mailed 2 separate priority mail envelopes, 2 different P.O. boxes up in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they were pretty hefty checks. It was tax due on my return and the estimated for the quarterly estimated. And man, I got hosed by the U.S. Postal Service. They lost the packages. I've got the receipt from the kiosk. They were checked in. I even have a picture of I took pictures of the envelope. I even took a photo of me at the post office saying, hey, I'm sending money to the IRS. I posted on Instagram. The packages never get there. They disappear. They were eaten by some monster at the Tampa, Maine post office at Tampa International Airport. So my accountant knew about this. I ended up paying the tax. I waited 30 days. I opened up a case. We got all kinds of emails, and I got all kinds of notes about the tracking, and the case has been open for these 2 packages. So listen, I've got a great paper trail that I finally paid them on May 15th. So a month after nothing showing up, because I've had stuff go to the IRS, get accepted, and they haven't cashed the check for 2-3 weeks. So on May 15th, I made the payments electronically online. Here's the deal. Just while I was away, I'm going through the stack of mail, and I had a huge pile of mail at the post office box. And I'm going through the mail yesterday because I've been jammed up all week. And here's a letter from the IRS. I'm like, oh, son of a bit. So I get the letter with this huge, I was late paying this money, and now it's interest and penalties, and it's a lot of freaking money. It's like thousands and thousands of dollars in interest and penalties that the IRS is trying to hit me up with. So my accountant Steve, he knows the deal. He was like, yeah, we just got to wait for them. And, well, guess what? Waiting for them finally occurred while I was scuba diving in the Philippines, and opened up the letter yesterday, and they want money by Monday. They want thousands and thousands of dollars in interest and penalties by Monday. So now my accountant's got it came on the 15th. It came right in the middle of my scuba vacation. The letter arrived apparently on it was dated the 15th, so I'm sure it came like 2-3 days later. So it hasn't been in the P.O. box for that long. So now I've got to go through the whole rigmarole of my accountant trying to get to the IRS and prove to them that I did pay on time. It was the U.S. Postal Service's fault. But Steve, my accountant, says that dealing with the IRS can be very difficult. And even though I have all the proof, they still might give us trouble.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
they're the IRS.
You do have a lot of evidence.
I have a ton of them. I've got a whole pile. I've got a photo of me that's time-stamped putting the envelopes into the wall at the post office because I was going to post it as a bit for social media. Like, son of a bitch, I got to pay the government today. I mean, plus I've got the investigation, the lost packages, them telling me, yep, we can't find them. So I had to cancel the checks, the whole shebang. So now we've got to go through the rigmarole with the IRS to prove that I don't owe you all the interest and penalties, that I did pay you on time, and the freaking post office lost the 2 checks. So that's where I am right now.
How long before they put a warrant out for your arrest?
Well, hey,
Not soon enough.
Anybody with the IRS, anybody want to offer me a tip here? Anybody working for the Internal Revenue Service here in Tampa?
Yeah.
Anybody want to drop me an email? In an official or an unofficial capacity? Anybody want to walk me through this? Anyone working for the IRS? You want to call me right now? 800-990-1047?
I'll give you a great tip. Learn Spanish and get the hell out.
What?
They're going to come looking for you. IRS going to throw you in jail.
What do you mean learn Spanish and get the hell out? What?
Get a bug out bag and get to Mexico.
Learn Spanish.
Come on. That's an easy joke.
And anybody,
Taking it so personal.
Anybody want to help me with this? Anyone want to offer a tip? Do you work for the IRS? I mean, I've got absolute bona fide proof that I paid and the USPS just totally shoved it up my rectum.
I have a conspiracy.
Yeah. 800-990-1047 if anyone wants to weigh in on this.
The conspiracy theory is
Yeah.
they identified you as a payer in this old school method. And how do they best get people to convert? And they go, this guy's a radio guy. He's going to talk about it. Guess what? We're going to make sure that payment never gets here. Then we're going to fine him, and he's going to go on the air ballistic, and everybody that's listening is going to go, "Oh my gosh, I am now going to pay my taxes
electronically." That doesn't work because the IRS, they're waiting for my payment. The post office is the one that lost. They're the ones that lost my package.
How many times does the package get delivered, but it never gets logged properly with USPS or FedEx or whatever you're using. It doesn't mean.
It never advanced past acceptance
You don't know
at
that.
Tampa
Well, it was
Airport
never-
Post
It
Office.
was never scanned by the Postal Service past receiving it.
You
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
that.
Here's the bigger thing, MJ. Dude,
What?
when you left the country, your passport triggered the IRS warrant. That's
Oh,
why.
he's a fugitive. He's running now to the Philippines to find a lady boy.
Which, if you adopt, is a deduction. I don't know that to be true.
All right, hang on a minute. Sheila's in Largo. Oh, Sheila. Here we go. Yes, Sheila.
Morning.
Welcome to the MJ Morning Show, Sheila.
All right, I'm a former IRS employee.
Yes.
You can ask for them to take off the penalties. They won't ever get rid of interest, but you can ask them to get rid of penalties.
Why won't they take the interest off? I paid it on time. It was postmarked on April 15th.
I understand that. You're still going to have to fight them on that. It's going to take a while.
Well, do I have to pay the thousands and thousands by Monday?
No, you can call them and make a payment arrangement. It doesn't cost any extra money, and they will tell you this is what you can pay per month.
I don't want to pay them in. I paid my tax on time, and the U.S. Postal Service shoved a garden hoe up my rear.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, you're still the responsible party.
All right, Sheila. That's not the answer. Not the answer I want to hear. I want to hear that I did my due diligence. It was postmarked on time, and the U.S. Postal Service lost my payments, and that ought to absolve me of any wrongdoing.
Make an appointment to go to an IRS office and fight them there.
What, like with boxing gloves?
Well, yeah, kind of, except bring all your paperwork with you that shows it was postmarked on time, but it got lost in the mail.
All right, Sheila, what is my percentage of success here? Out of 100%, if I've got a stack of documentation, the investigation for the lost parcel, I've got a picture of me, date stamped, me putting the things into the wall at the post office. What do you think? What are my chances of getting a successful resolution?
Probably 80 to 90%.
That's better than 12%. All right, thank you, Sheila.
All righty.
All right, Julie in Fort Meade. Julie, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning.
Hey there.
So I'm just going to give you the advice that my dad would say,
Oh, great.
and that is submit your taxes earlier so that you have the time, if you have a hiccup with submitting your payment on time, to resubmit the payment.
I haven't had a hiccup in 50 years or 40 years of whatever it was,
And poof, now you have.
All right. Yeah, you're damn right. That's what I do. I do. All right. Thank you, Julie. Detective J. former TPD detective. Detective J, welcome back to the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, good morning.
All right. So what do you want to say about this?
I think, subconsciously you did all those pictures. I mean, you kind of knew, right? In your head, something's going to happen. Kind of think about it, right?
I mean, the
you took
irony.
the picture, you stood next to the mailbox,
Right.
you did this.
I
Come
took
on,
the
you
picture because I was posting on Instagram that son of a bitch. It's the 15th of April. I've got to pay the IRS. It was just like a social media post. That's why I took the picture.
Yeah, and think about it. Somebody might have seen that, and they knew who MJ was, and hey, you're a recognizable guy, and just hey, file 13, bye.
Yeah, but this is 5 o'clock in the morning. No one saw me put these in the box. So
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
They got cameras, all kinds of stuff.
Great.
I
So,
know that.
hold on. So wait, you're jacking up. Hold on a minute. You're jacking up the conspiracy theory that someone saw me
am.
on camera and said,
Should've.
"Oh, I hate the MJ Morning Show. I'm going to really screw him over." Oh, look, the package he just mailed were for the IRS and the Department of the Treasury in Charlotte,
No.
North Carolina. I'm going to lose his packages and really hose him up good.
MJ, that's not too far off. Detective J, what if the recipient of the package on the other side of the brick wall, who he did not see, picks it up, sees his name, and says, I'll give this guy something to talk about, and
It wouldn't be
shreds it.
I'm pretty, who knows if it wouldn't be the first time. And it doesn't only happen there. It happens in other places,
All right.
So just a thought, though. You took all those pictures ahead of time. Subconsciously, you were thinking about
All
something.
right. Thanks for the call. Oh, we have an IRS guy. Are you a current IRS guy?
Hello, sir. My name is Steve Williams. You owe IRS taxes, and we are going to send police to arrest you if you don't pay now.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is
I
very,
want you to
very
know,
believable.
IRS guy. That's hysterical.
Hey, MJ, I got a house in Mexico if you want
Right?
to come down this way.
Thank you.
What, in Sinaloa?
No, it's actually in the safer part of Mexico. It's called Piedra Negra.
Okay.
I have dual citizenship, so.
All right. Thanks for the call.
All right.
All right.
Call us again. We
All
need
right.
your help.
Vinny in Spring Hill. Vinny, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, MJ, how are you doing?
Yeah,
I
what's
just
up?
want to say good luck with that. I mean, these people suck. They really do. They did the same thing to me about 2 years ago, and I'm still on the hook for it.
So you did nothing wrong. The post office lost something, and they're still trying to hammer you?
100%. Yep.
Oh, great. So I've got like what, like a 0% chance of a positive resolution?
I hate to say it, but yeah, pretty much.
Oh, boy. All right, Vinny, thanks for the great encouraging news. Let me two more calls. Ashley in Tampa. Ashley, MJ Morning Show, you're up. Hi.
Hey, guys, I have good news for you, MJ. I went through this process with the IRS about 10 years ago. Took me about 4 years. However, are you aware of the tax advocates? They're a part of the IRS, but they represent we the people. And I have a box. I'm very organized. I went certified, return receipts. Long story short, somebody had gotten to my mail, filed against two of my 401ks in a different district. So to even initiate the investigation after I spent years in certified receipts and every last thing I did, I don't think you're silly for taking a picture of the box at all. People are crazy, people are crooks. And finally, one gal that I was working with heard me talking about it and said, I used to work at the IRS, call a tax advocate. I called them, they answered the phone. I was assigned a caseworker who was able to freeze the account. They stopped all of the interest, all of the...
All right, so you're saying that I should get a hold of an IRS tax advocate and have them advocate for me if I've got all the proof, and you think that I might have a positive resolution?
Without a doubt, and let me tell you what happened. They, when I finally called the advocacy, I was going to the mail every day. I was calling them, all these letters they were sending. It was just mass confusion. Nobody could find me in the system. So this woman said, don't do anything. Wait until I call you. I'm going to call you in 2 weeks on Tuesday, whatever, at 9:06 a.m. Sure enough, at that time, she would call. She froze it. They can see everything. They have more power than anybody you're going to get a hold of on the phone. So she was able to freeze everything and said, don't send in another payment. Don't do anything. I'll call you back.
All right, Michelle, make notes of this. We'll call Steve, our accountant, later on and just say, hey, what about the tax advocate? Because, listen, I'm going to reveal something here. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about a large amount of money.
The IRS is trying to hold me up for tens of thousands of dollars when I paid everything and I paid on time, and the U.S. Postal Service lost my crap. All right, Ashley, great advice. Thank you. All right, one more call on this. One last call. Grant in Riverview. Grant, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, MJ, good morning. I think Ashley had kind of my idea, but the thing I was going to suggest is you should call your member of Congress and ask them to look into this for you. For me, long story short...
I think Kathy Castor hates my guts.
Well, that's okay, but she still represents you, and that's their job.
All right.
I was able to work. My congressman at the time was Scott Franklin up in Plant City.
All right.
And the IRS owed me $12,000 refund, and that's how I got there is really not the worth of it. But they held it for 4 or 5 weeks, and they wouldn't pay it back, and they were looking at potential. Was I a fraud? Was I a scammer?
Yep.
And I called the congressman's office, and just like Ashley just said, 2 days later, someone contacted me, and a week later, it was resolved.
All right.
So
let me.
that's my advice.
All right. I'll talk to my accountant about that. Maybe I need to give Kathy Castor a call and invite her over for some tea and crumpets.
Or you can just call her office like any citizen
All right.
would.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, listen, they are public servants. Right. Absolutely.
All right.
Call your
Grant,
office.
thank you. But Gus Bilirakis is not my representative. But I think Gus does like me, though.
Pam Bondi likes you. Can't you just slip a note to the IRS guy at the next cabinet meeting?
Pam Bondi watched my kids grow up.
Yeah. Hey,
my Chloe used to sell Pam Bondi Girl Scout cookies at the front door next door. You know.
So but listen, I mean, it's not a matter of knowing people. It's a matter of getting something done.
All right.
You know you need to call.
All right, I'm a little late on the adult tantrums. Have you heard of, what time is it? Oh, 8 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock at the MJ Morning Show, WRBQ-FM. Hey, it's Q105, 104.7 FM. Thanks for listening. We're listening, folks, together to over an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Just boom, 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 just nonstop content. So, Michelle, my lovely wife, have you ever heard of adult tantrum parties? That kids throw tantrums, so why not let adults throw tantrums to kind of, let the anger escape in like an organized fashion?
Okay, I think we try to grow out. We've progressed. Like we're responsible, mature adults. We don't need to throw a tantrum to demonstrate our disgruntlement with something.
So
Julia Stepowska.
Oh, Stepowska's. Boy, they have a temper on them.
has a new way for adults to let out frustration. She throws adult tantrum parties. We've heard about those. What are those rage rooms? Where you get to smash TVs and lamps and dishes that they buy by the crate load from like Goodwill or whatever.
So MJ, I feel like I've seen a story before about like, and I don't mean to genderfy this, but a group of women who would like yell in the forest.
Yeah. Like primal screams?
Yes, just to let out this guttural tension that they feel either in society or politically or whatever they're going through. They would, but they wouldn't like be in like a nursery school or anything. They would be like in the middle of like a park or like a national forest or something.
I think that's just weird.
This is a tantrum party. It's not that far off.
Weird.
Up in Ithaca, at Cornell, they used to do the primal screams where, the college kids would open up the window of the dorms and scream. I don't know if they still do the primal scream at Cornell. And then sometimes that leads to them jumping off into a gorge. There's kind of a high suicide rate up there, but it's a whole different story. But a tantrum party is an opportunity to get out of your head and into your body so you can move heavy energy. According to this woman, Julia Stepowska, the practice connects you with your internal world in a fun and supportive way. What the hell is she saying?
I'm reading Psych Central, and it's like kind of the opposite.
She says that she suggests movements like punching violently into the air, shaking out hair, stomping feet, yelling, screaming, throwing an adult tantrum. Also, having people hold pillows and punching the pillows.
Okay, just go to a kickboxing class.
Well, that's a good idea.
I mean, honestly, I just don't even understand this.
There's got to be something that just seems on the surface to be slightly more healthy for you in some capacity than just raging out.
What are you saying, that you're seeing the opposite? What do you...
No, I'm reading Psych Central. It says sometimes adult temper tantrums are used as a means to manipulate others, which is exactly what kids learn to do if you give in to them when they're throwing a 2-year-old temper tantrum.
All right, so you're not on board with the temper tantrums.
Also, sometimes it could be linked to a mental health condition because you're an adult and you're demonstrating that you can't control your emotions.
Hold on. Fester just found the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Okay.
The title is Women Shell Out Thousands to Scream in the Woods.
When did this post? I can't read the date.
Hang on a minute. This was...
was like a year ago?
10 months ago.
Okay.
10 months ago.
I thought I heard of something like this. Watch this.
34,000 views. All right, go ahead and hit it. Is this a commercial?
Forget brunch. These women are now heading into the woods for what's been called rage rituals.
Yes.
Let's watch.
Right now, I feel. What do you feel?
Yeah! There's a woman with a stick bashing it on the ground. Oh my God. My God, thank God I don't have to come home to this. Well, maybe I do. Oh my God, they are banging
The
sticks.
rituals can come in the form of a weekend-long retreat.
Weekend-long rage rituals in the forest where women are screaming and smashing the ground with sticks.
But when you say tantrum party, I mean, think about all the frustration.
By the way, they were like branches. They're bigger than just sticks.
Like mini limbs
My
are
God.
getting cracked. But when you said, tantrum parties, think about all the frustration you feel and maybe just letting a good scream out. It's like have you ever felt better after a good cry? I haven't, but my wife claims to have.
All right, should we go to the adult tantrum lines? You know, look, do we have any adult tantrum throwers listening right now?
Yeah, is this a service being offered in our community?
800-990-1047. Have you ever done any organized adult tantrum, or do you privately throw tantrums when maybe out of sight of other people, or maybe you don't give a flying crap, that to get rid of rage, that you throw a tantrum and you scream and you start smashing things and then you feel better? Do we have any adult tantrum throwers? Fester just showed me this video piece from a TV show from The Hill. Oh, The Hill is that The Hill is
It's a site. I didn't know it was a TV channel.
No, the Hill is a Washington-based news operation.
Okay.
It's a long-running, The Hill, but they have obviously a TV component. That's where the video's from, and the women are in the woods screaming. All right, listen, I'm going to give out the number. I'm going to give it a minute for someone to call in, then I'm going to move on. 800-990-1047. Any adult tantrum throwers? Or have you ever participated in a ritual where women gather in the woods and scream and hit crap? 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047.
I'm just going to say, everybody knows I've been pretty angry at you over the course of 30 years now, right?
Well,
I don't think
not consistently.
We've had a couple of blowouts over the years.
I think every family's had a couple of blowouts or a couple of big arguments.
But can I just say, that looks like if I attended that, I would come away with a raging headache and probably just want to hit one of them with a stick, because it just looks so not normal.
Counterproductive?
Yes. I'd be like, everybody's screaming at the same time about whatever their issues are. You're all beating a stick together. Join a band or go to an exercise class.
Join a band.
I don't know. They're beating a drum over there. I mean, what the heck? I just don't get that. I'm sorry. I'm not on board with this. However, if somebody does call in and they have something like this that they're doing, organized, we can all go and laugh at them.
I think that's only going to encourage them to rage more.
There you go.
You know who was an adult that threw tantrums well into his late 40s?
Who?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, my
yes.
God.
Me? Yes.
You were the best. Listen, folks, you've never seen a grown man throw a tantrum like MJ.
Come on.
Yeah. I would sit back. We used to have trigger words for you. I forget what they are now, but we used to try to set them off. And he would just go. We would sit back and just watch the show.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you've mellowed in your old age.
You are much mellower now.
Yes, I am. I am a mellower individual.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I miss pissed off MJ.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I miss the guy who's
never. Anyway, all right, moving along. Andrew says we're not getting any call that's decent that can fulfill what I'm looking for. So, another reason why you should go grocery shopping on your own. We've had multiple stories of a similar vein. Listen to this Instacart story. Customer receives their Instacart order, realizes the food is all wet and has a smell. Apparently, there was urine all over their food delivery. Did the food Instacart deliverer pee all over the woman's groceries?
It's kind of what it sounds like.
My God. Priscilla, she tells the story that she's expecting food for the kids, packages left outside the home. She claims that as she is inspecting the groceries, bringing them into the house, she notices that they're all wet and there's a smell. She states that it was human urine, even claims some was still inside the plastic containers in the bag. She then goes on social media. She posts a video rant. Instacart, this is for you. Then she displays a clamshell container of fruit, I guess like a cut-up fruit, and a bag full of other products, even the Yakult probiotics, those little yogurt drinks. And it was all wet and covered with pee. Instacart. Insta-pee.
Insta-crap.
Oh, no. You know what would be even worse?
What?
Insta-shart.
Okay. Every day there has to be one segment where you guys go there. Come on.
It's the shart.
Michelle, we don't make the news. We just report it.
You can say shart on the air.
Yeah, of course you can.
Shart's not on the list of dirty words.
It's one letter off a shark. I mean,
It's
come on.
shart.
Yeah.
I listen to the shart. All right, so all right, maybe. All right, so Insta shart. So it could get worse. It could go beyond the. But listen, just go grocery shopping on your own. I'm a busy dude. I do all of our own shopping. I do the majority of the grocery shopping. Michelle hates you don't even, this has been, somewhat beneficial over the years. You don't even like to go to the mall. You don't like clothing shopping. You just don't like to shop.
Just gives me a headache.
So that's awful. Instacart. This is also, I'm sorry, this is the disgusting segment of the day. Listen to this. What is like a worse nightmare of something that could happen if you're on a flight? This was a Delta Airlines flight. This woman, a Delta Air, and we're going to be flying Delta later today, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I sure as hell hope this doesn't happen on our Listen, I like Delta. I'm not as loyal to Delta as, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. The airlines are doing everything these days to scatter customers. Everyone I talk to is nowhere near. Everyone used to be loyal to Delta, United, American, whatever. And the loyalty, the airlines have just flicked, loyal customers away, by taking away perks and services. And, Delta's made it very difficult to get upgrades these days. And, everyone I talk to, though, they don't have any loyalty to any airline any longer. I don't understand that business model. That everyone's just really shopping for price these days instead of maybe paying the same amount or a little more because you get some better service or a perk.
And you say you've had this conversation with a lot of people.
Yes.
Wow. You are a very boring person to talk to off the air.
I was just on my scuba vacation with a number of friends, and
God.
all of us had the same complaints.
Oh my
That
God.
none of us have the airline loyalty that we used to have.
To be trapped on a boat with you in the middle of the ocean for 10 days talking about airline parks.
It was the Sulu Sea, by the way, all right?
I would drown myself.
And the atolls of Tubataha. All right, listen.
Fester, you're speaking for me, buddy.
The worst conversation ever.
All right, listen. Let me just talk about the experience.
Define hell for me. Oh my God! It's that.
A Delta Airlines customer is speaking about a horrific event on a flight, and she's claiming that Delta is not making proper amends. Now, it's really not Delta's fault, but this is a case where I think Delta or any airline could step up. This video has gone viral. The woman's name is Laura Juntgen, or Juntgen. It's Juntgen. So Laura, a mother, and she tells the story about another passenger all over her on the flight.
Oh, no.
Another passenger projectile vomited all over her. So here's the deal. Here's where the airline comes in. Laura was preparing to depart from LaGuardia in New York when the incident happened. As the plane taxied for takeoff, a nearby passenger suddenly stood up, seemingly trying to run to the restroom. The flight attendant and said, "Return to your seat. We're on an active taxiway. Go back to your seat." Well, the passenger was getting up to run to the restroom because they were about to blow chunks.
What's the ruling on that?
So the flight attendant, well, you just keep going. You just, then, do you get arrested for ignoring the flight crew? What?
Isn't that what the bag is for?
They do have a vomit bag. So why didn't they go for the vomit bag?
How many people are unaware of the vomit bag? If you're
You know
not
what?
a seasoned flyer, they don't bring that up in the training.
You know what? I don't know if I had vomit bags on my last flight.
I look for them every time to see if they're there. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
We're going to be flying later this afternoon. You know what? Let's do a video on board. Michelle and I will post a video on Delta looking for vomit bags on our flight from Tampa to LaGuardia later today.
Really?
So watch my Instagram later today, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio on Instagram. Give me a follow and look for a video as we get seated on our flight.
Does MJ have a vomit bag? You really know. You really have your finger on the pulse of riveting content.
I do.
Also, But projectile vomit is one of the funniest things ever.
It
right?
is,
When
yeah,
we're watching SNL, that's the only. I mean, the minute you see somebody doing I'm laughing before. So maybe you could do that on the airplane today. If we find a vomit bag, could you projectile into the bag?
Yeah.
That would be riveting video.
All right, so I'll hand you the camera while I'll give you the phone.
Yeah.
And you can video me projectile vomiting or pretending to projectile vomit and alarming all the passengers around me. All right, so here's the deal. The flight attendant says, go back to your seat. That's when he covers his mouth and projectile vomits, the woman says. According to her, the vomit sprayed out of the man's mouth, hitting her.
Yeah.
It showers down the right side of her body. The flight attendant quickly informed the captain, but the plane went back to the terminal. However, during the return, Junkin was forced to remain in the seat covered in... Oh, man. Eventually, a flight attendant handed some towelettes to clean her up. She felt that the airline's response was far from inadequate. She reached out to Delta after the incident, expecting a more substantial response. Instead, she claims that she waited over a week for a reply. When the airline finally responded, it offered her $120 as compensation for what she described as a textbook apology. They were like, we'd like to offer you $120 for your inconvenience.
Well, how much is enough? $1 million? I mean, well, what does she want?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
You know, she's complaining that 120 is not enough, but she's not coming out with something that will make it go away.
She says she's not exaggerating when she says it was the worst nightmare of her life. Wow. Another commenter said they would have to be sedated if that happened. Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
As someone with, hold on a minute. Wait, is this just a comment? Hang on. These are commenters. A commenter said, listen to this. A commenter to the woman's story online, quote, as someone with emetophobia, this is my literal worst nightmare, and I probably would have passed away. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you know what emetophobia is?
I mean, just by breaking down the words, emit would mean like emit vomit out of your mouth.
Sounds good to me.
Is it vomitophobia?
It's the extreme fear of vomiting, causing severe anxiety. Wow. Oh, man. All right, we've got a vomit bag video coming up later today on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. Watch it later today. Give me a follow, Certified MJ Radio. As you know what? The vomit quest could put me to that 25,000 mark, which I'm so close to hitting. I'm at 24,800 followers. I'm only like 120 followers away from getting to 25,000. This could be it. This could put me over the top.
We're all really proud of you.
Oh, man. Hey, tell me, speaking of travel, is this degrading? This happened on a cruise ship. And this happened on a Carnival cruise ship. A passenger was very happy with the cabin steward. So the steward for the cabin did a very good job. Mm-hmm. And the family was very, very happy with the services of the steward. They tipped the steward. The steward's name apparently was Ketut, K-E-T-U-T.
Okay.
So in order to reward the steward, the cabin attendant on a Carnival cruise line, the family took all of the bills, the money, and they spelled out, "Thank you, Ketut," in money on the bed.
Okay.
You see this?
That's pretty thoughtful.
But people are saying it's tacky. I'm holding this up to MJ TV right now. So there's the bed inside the cabin, and they took all of the money, all the bills, and they lined them up, and they spelled letters out of the bills. K, or T-H-A-N-K. What they did was, T-H-A-N-X. So
how much
thanks.
did they tip? Is it all singles or is it fives?
You know what? I'm looking.
Tens? I mean, how much did they
you know
tip
what?
this
As I
person?
look, it looks like there are a bunch of singles in there.
Because you'd need 30 or 40 singles to make the letters big enough, right?
To make the T, it's like 1, 2, 3 for the top of the T, then 1, 2, 3 going down, then the H, then the A, the N, and the X. Thanks. And then the guy's name is Ketut, K-E-T-U-T.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you understand this, right? That the steward usually folds those little bills, the dollar bills, and leaves them in your room.
No, the towels. They fold the towels and put them in your room.
We've got.
Hold on. What are you saying?
You've had
I thought we
stewards
had a
leave
dollar
money-
bill one time left left for us.
What? They don't. No, you leave them money.
Yeah.
They don't leave you money.
I understand that.
They leave you new toilet paper.
Miss Michelle, it's been a pleasure cleaning up after you. I'd like to give you $1 folded up like a swan.
I feel like somebody gave the kids when we were on the cruise.
I don't think
those
so.
little folded dollar bills.
Maybe. I don't know if it was a room attendant.
But what is the problem here?
So here's the problem.
I don't remember that.
By grown-ass American standards, if you're going to tip somebody, hand them an envelope or thank them at the end or say, hey, this is for you, and give them the money.
Is it tacky to spell out thanks, get it on your cabin bed on the Carnival cruise ship?
It's cutesy-wootsy.
In money.
And I've been on several cruises, and I will tell you, every time the room attendant has been from a foreign country, and they aren't American citizens or American in any capacity. And that person is probably super grateful that they got 30 or 40 or 50 bucks directly brought to them. They probably thought they hit some kind of lottery, or some kind of windfall. But it's kind of tacky. Yeah, I left a tip for my guy, and I was like, giving him change. But here you go. Don't spend it all.
All right, I have some listener responses that I'd like to share here on the MJ Morning Show. 821. You're listening to the MJ broadcast on 104.7 FM, Q105, or if you're listening to us streaming, thank you. If you're listening to this in the podcast form later on, thank you very much. We highly appreciate it. So a couple of things. Great listener response recently. Well, I always get great listener response. And, of course, my email's always open. You can always send me an email. My private email is mj@mjmorningshow.com. My direct messages are open on Instagram. I'm certified MJ Radio. So I get this direct message from Robin. And Robin writes, this is yesterday at 11:45 a.m. Robin writes on Instagram, direct message to me, I absolutely love Michelle on the show in the morning. I've been listening to you for many years, and she is the perfect addition. I think it makes both of you and and Fester. She spelled it faster. I think it makes both of you and Fester so much funnier. Not sure what Beasley is planning to do, but she would be a great addition to the show, IMO, in my humble opinion. So, again, I've got nothing but positives with Michelle. And Michelle is not supposed to be permanent. We are, in the midst of finding a permanent replacement after Roxanne left. Michelle's been doing a wonderful job since January, coming in like a sport and filling in. Listen, even if we do hire somebody, and that's the plan.
Good job, sport.
I'm still thinking of have Michelle come in like once or twice a week.
All right.
As just a studio guest, because you have done a remarkable job.
Keep thinking.
Yeah.
All right, then I have this headline to mj@mjmorningshow.com. All caps, disgruntled listener.
Oh, no.
That person knows how to get your attention.
Yeah. Then it says, just kidding. All right. So all right. Just kidding. Love the show. Used to listen during the 90s on the Power Pig. Just wanted to see if you would open this email and read it. I'm too late.
What, for my kid's birthday?
Oh, no, they wanted me to mention it between 7:25 and 7:55.
Oh, my. This is the story of your life. You're late.
Did you not read the email the first time they sent it?
No. He saw disgruntled listener, and he opened it and printed it, and then...
Disgruntled listener, just kidding. I will definitely print this and get to it at 8:30-ish.
All right, Hey, do me a favor.
Was that a reminder on Monday?
You know what? Yeah, Andrew, do me a favor. I'm gonna have to read this again on Monday morning and do it between 7:25 and 7:55. That's what I'm gonna have to do. If you could give him a shout out for the show, that would be awesome.
Do shout out.
His name is Carson Green.
We don't do shout outs.
I gotta do it again.
Can you say hi to my kids as I'm taking them to school today? Hey, can you wish my dog a happy birthday?
All right,
Hey.
I'll have to do it again. All right. And then another direct message on Instagram from Kay. Have a pretty good story for you. This was a DM from Kay. K-A-E? Is that K?
Sure.
Kai? Hey, pretty good story here. I'm in barber school up in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of my clients today moved here from Tampa about 14 years ago. I asked if he was familiar with the MJ Morning Show, and he said, oh, thank God you've answered.
Okay.
Oh, thank God you've answered. He said he still has the Milton Fludgecow CDs and still listens to them to this day. He had no idea you guys were back on the air. I helped him download Spotify and had him favorite your show so he could listen through your podcasts. Yeah, the MJ Morning Show podcast is on all of the major podcast platforms. All you have to do is search for MJ Morning Show on Q105, and you can get the daily show. Andrew has it posted by like 11 a.m. This whole show is then jammed down into podcast form, and every day by 11. So isn't that great? He had no idea you guys were back on the air. I helped him download the Spotify, blah, blah, blah. Love the show. Looking forward to listening to you, Michelle, and Fester. Love the show and looking forward to listening to Michelle and Fester bash you every day. Well, thank you very much.
Well, that's not the... Listen, we don't show up trying to bash him.
No.
He literally bashes himself. We just pointed out.
Right.
Michelle, question for you.
Uh-oh.
Are designer handbags a good investment?
Yes.
Can you explain? Because I found this whole piece.
Let me tell you.
From CNBC, from the business network, luxury handbags have outperformed other collectibles in recent years and are increasingly viewed as a potential investment category in the eyes of consumers and analysts, at least according to some recent reports. For the first time, the value proposition of designer handbags from top brands such as Hermes, Chanel, Goyard, and Louis Vuitton are growing across the board. One luxury resale site, Rebag, found, anyway, it goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But before I even read you any details, I asked you, are designer handbags actually a good investment? And you didn't even blink, and you said...
Yes.
So, MJ, do you think designer and super high-end watches are a good investment?
It depends on the watch. Sometimes a watch is a good investment. Sometimes it is not a good investment.
Generally speaking, to the category in general.
I would say in general, you will lose money on a watch. There are certain watches from certain brands that hold their value and do very well.
So I think that's the same argument for the purchase.
Just because you buy a high brand watch doesn't mean that it's going to hold value or increase. It's actually the minority of watches that hold or increase. Most will decrease.
Yeah, but I mean, if you buy a Coach bag from the Ellington outlet, it's not going to go up.
Right,
I mean,
right.
You know, and Coach is a respected brand, I guess.
I paid $275 for this Coach bag. It's now worth $8,000.
That's not but you're talking really super high end stuff. I mean, the same way crazy exotic cars are a good investment in that category.
Listen, Hermes and Chanel, they only make like so many every year.
Hold on, please say Hermes.
Hermes.
It's not Hermes.
They make only so many every year, and sometimes changing out the colors, maybe adjusting the style a little bit, maybe the size, but year over year, they continue to raise their prices when other what is considered high brand still either has to stay the same price or consider that they have to discount their product.
Okay.
And if you keep it in good shape and you take care of it,
you have a number of bags that have greatly gone up in value. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So tell me what I don't even know what you have.
Look,
give me a couple of the bags that you just
I have one. Okay, a Chanel bag.
You have a lot more than one, but you have
I have one Chanel bag that I bought on eBay about 10 years ago. And a friend had recommended it. She was like, it's a perfect classic design, blah, blah, blah. And so I kept watching it. And I bought the bag, and it was maybe like $1,000 less than, if I had bought it retailed brand new. However, I don't even know that it was available at that time because, like I said, they not always make the same one.
What about all your Calvin Klein bags? Tell me about the Dooney and Burke with the little duck on it.
Oh my gosh!
Remember when that was a thing?
That was a thing. Yeah.
But
if I look for that bag now on eBay, it's like $10,000, and I did not pay $10,000 for it.
What did you pay for the bag?
I paid.
You paid like $2,000.
I tried to go back in the account, and I guess it's so long ago it's erased. I think I paid maybe $2,500 for the bag,
and
it was brand new. I swear it was never used.
You got it from Hollywood. It came from L.A.
Yeah,
and you think that the bag you got was one of those brokers that get all the swag bags,
it's a swag bag,
or all of the celebrities that get. or buy things to use like once and then they get rid of it?
What year did you get it?
Well, hold on.
Chloe was 12, so it was
Okay,
like.
so here's the deal. Like, I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, California changed the tax code to where swag bags are now taxable income.
Yes. Yeah.
So they would get these ridiculous bags. Let's say, pick a C-list celebrity, and they would get a swag bag that's really awesome with trips and gifts, and then they sell it on eBay.
So,
It
but
comes cash.
Michelle, you told me about this. You know for a fact you've heard about this or you read about this, that celebrities will unload clothing or stuff they're gifted because they're a celebrity and people want them to wear their stuff. So they'll get piles of designer clothing, handbags, shoes, and they'll clean out their closets and get the cash. And there are people that will sell and this is not counterfeit crap. This is all real stuff.
Yeah.
And you think that the Chanel bag that you paid $2,500 for was probably belonged to some rich Beverly Hills person or celebrity.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Or whoever. But now that bag that you paid $2,500 for is worth $10,000?
Yeah.
So they're asking $10,000 for it.
Frigamoly.
I'm selling every Q105 T-shirt that I have. Never worn, or maybe my kid slept in it once. And if you want one, I got like 3 of them.
Speaking of prices, speaking of things that are out of control, I saw a post story that Broadway ticket prices are out of control, but also it's concerts as well. We've talked about this. The price to go to a concert these days, I mean, who has like $500 lying around to go see a concert? Or listen to this. Othello, starring Denzel Washington. Do you know what the average ticket is? Okay. The average ticket to see Denzel Washington for row M is $900. I'm sorry. I'm not spending $900. It's not worth it. Let Michelle and I go to a Broadway show, $2,000 for us to go to a freaking Broadway show for a couple of hours?
No,
that's not worth
hold
it.
on, you're not going to see a Broadway show. You're going to see the Broadway show with a Hollywood, with like 2 A-list actors.
Denzel.
Who else is in Othello? I mean,
who's the second guy?
I mean, there's 2.
There's 2 main, as Fester said, A-list actors.
The guy who has the sister looks just like him.
Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm sorry.
You put Jake in a wig and it's Maggie.
Yes.
Right? Identical. But Jake Gyllenhaal, A-list actor.
Yeah.
Denzel, that's a thing.
There is no way that it is worth it to spend $921 a ticket to go see Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Then you're not their guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then the concert prices are out of control. You used to be able to get a good seat at a concert for, $125, $150. That same seat now at a concert, it's like $350, $375, $400. I mean, some of the prices are out of freaking control.
When we were in New York, wasn't it Bryan Cranston that was doing a play?
Yeah.
And then also, who did the To Kill a Mockingbird? There was another actor.
Oh, there was several went through that,
right.
yeah.
And those tickets were like $350, $450, and you were like, no.
I don't want to pay that.
I wanted to go.
I don't want to pay $400 a ticket or $350 a ticket.
Right.
All right, it's here. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Saturday, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
If MJ wants to see the 2:00 performance of MJ.
It's cheaper.
Oh, MJ the musical.
Yeah, it's $165.
Well, that's not bad.
It's a mezzanine level seat.
Okay, that is a reasonable price for a Broadway show to see MJ the musical.
If I were going to New York,
they do a great musical number of "Oh, thank God I've answered."
Yes.
Oh, Andrew just looked it up. Yeah, hold on, Andrew, turn your microphone on. So, in the run of To Kill a Mockingbird, these were the actors that played Atticus. All right, roll. Go ahead. Who was it?
You had Jeff Daniels do a run of it, Ed Harris, and Greg Kinnear.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, but Bryan Cranston did something while we were there too. I forget what play it was. And I was like, you love him, and you said nope.
I love Bryan Cranston, but I wasn't going to shell out $1,000 for you and I to go to the Broadway show. I just didn't think it was worth it.
Would have been fun.
I'm a thrifty. Oh, speaking of thrift,
yeah,
we got to talk. We got to talk about this.
What?
So, Julian, our son Julian is 20 years old. Julian is going to be 21 in July. And Julian loves thrift shops.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Julian on Facebook Marketplace or somewhere, Julian finds a place up in Brooksville that sells surplus Pelican cases, right?
That's cool.
So you know the Pelican, the hard shell plastic cases that are used for like electronic equipment, military equipment. It's the Pelican case. They're very, very good cases.
Are they?
They're also very, very expensive.
And they're very
Are
expensive.
they the foamed line ones? Or are they like cell phone cases?
Well,
or-
no.
When you said electronics, I'm trying to get around.
No. They're to put like
cameras in.
Yeah, camera equipment, military equipment, drone. You know, they're the heavy plastic cases. They're molded cases. They're like indestructible.
Okay.
It's a Pelican case. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you might know. All right. So here's the deal. There's this company up in Brooksville that apparently has some kind of connection to get a ton of surplus military cases by the pallet full.
That's cool.
Julian finds them on Facebook Marketplace. They're up in Brooksville. And Michelle goes up to Brooksville with Julian on Wednesday. They take a drive up. Julian, because he's got all this camera equipment. He's got a whole kit now. Daddy stepped up and helped the film student buy a whole kit so he can shoot, Hollywood quality movies. So Julian's got some nice stuff. And so he wanted some additional cases for his equipment. And instead of buying it new, he found this surplus place in Brooksville. And it turns out Julian got well over $1,000 in cases for like $200.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I think it was like $230, and he got 3 cases.
Okay.
But these would have been well over $1,000, right?
Altogether, well, they would have been probably $750 maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking online at Amazon. You can buy this one for $270. You can buy this one for almost $300. This one's $150.
He got the 2 cases that they retail in the city B&H like $225, and they were half off.
Right. But then on the way back, after you bought the cases, then you guys are scouring thrift stores in and around Brooksville.
Why not? It's a whole different area.
MJ doesn't think going thrifting for a day is a good time. When actually, you probably would think. Have you ever done it?
No, we took him into a thrift store one time, and he could not wait to get out of there.
No, I poked through some stuff. It's interesting, but I've never really found anything in the thrift store that I really wanted. If I found stuff that I really wanted, what?
But that's the point of the whole store.
Yeah. That's the whole. It's exploring. It's like a scavenger hunt. Everything is kind of displayed.
Yeah. You never know what they're going to have.
Yeah.
And you might see some. You go to Salvation Army. You probably will walk out empty-handed, or you might walk out with the quirkiest, unexpected thing.
Yeah. And we came home with a lid for one of our pans.
They found a heavy, like perfect condition,
all clad,
like a 12-inch all clad stainless lid in some bin, and they paid $2 for the lid. So now we have an extra lid.
Oh, you know what happened?
What?
The person never used the lid because they always used the frying pan part, and they died.
Oh, Fester.
Yeah,
Is that what happened?
What do you do with Mima's lids after she kicks the can?
Is that what happened?
Get it to the thrift shop.
You know what they had? There was a lot of like Pyrex bowls and Pyrex dishes and that's made in the USA, but the old ones those things are still good. Why would you buy a new one if you could buy one for $2 from the store?
So my wife has a friend who's like an old lady who likes to like make meals for people.
Yeah.
But
she ought to get a gig with Meals on Wheels.
Well, she like if you have a baby, she'll make a dinner for you. If you have somebody die, she'll make it. And she goes, it's really kind and sickening at the same time. But she makes all these meals, and they're usually casseroles or something like that. And after not getting dishes back, inadvertently, she goes to the Salvation Army or goes to these thrift shops, and she'll buy a 9x13.
Oh, to be like disposable dishes
for $1.
Yeah.
A real glass one, and then never expect it back.
That's perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play the feud. All right, here we go. Top 5 answers on the board. Things you should never do in bed. Things you should never. Let's go to the Schnitt family. Michelle, things you should never do in bed. Looking for the top answer on the board. Go ahead.
Pee.
Pee is not on the board. All right.
That's Fielder's choice.
I have another one.
Hold on, you just got buzzed.
You
All
right.
right.
Do you not know how Family Feud works?
All right. Another guess here. Things you should never do in bed. Yes, Michelle.
Eat.
Eat. Survey says no, not what it look. All right, Fester's got a chance to steal it. The Siciliano family. Things you should never do in bed.
Can you give me a little more Steve Harvey Family Feud instead of this whatever the hell Family Feud you're doing?
I don't know how to do.
You know?
What do you want to? You want me to cram my mouth with teeth that are 5 times too big for my mouth?
He's a talented man. You don't want to...
I don't know how to do an imitation of Steve Harvey.
What? Fireworks? You don't want to let off fireworks in bed?
Oh, you're getting close.
Okay.
Oh, you're getting close. But, all right, show me fireworks.
How am I getting close? I mean,
Michelle, you got a chance to steal
is there
it
only
over
one
here.
answer on the board?
Oh, is it smoke?
What did you say?
Smoke?
Things you should never do in bed. I'm looking for smoke, survey says. Yes.
This game sucks.
Well, this is going to lead us into the story out of Palm Harbor.
All 3 things Michelle said I do in bed. I eat, I pee, I smoke. All 3.
Did you pee your bed last night?
Not last night, but I didn't have the right sheets on.
All right. So, did you see the story out of Palm Harbor? A woman was saved by the neighbor. A woman fell asleep with a cigarette in her mouth, and it lit the whole freaking bed. I mean, she's lucky she's alive. Her bed caught on fire.
See, that's the problem. Not smoking in bed, falling asleep while you're smoking.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You got to have that last smoke of the day.
How do you even do that?
Oh, look at the time. I got to go to bed, but let me
Tell you
light
what,
this last one.
This reminds me of Papa Al.
What happened to
This
Papa Al?
reminds me, a story that when I was a kid scared the living crap out of me. Hold on, story time in just a second. First, though, man, do not smoke in bed. Because if you do fall asleep, people, tend to, if you're in bed, you get the comfy pillow and it will fall
Doze
asleep.
off, yeah,
The
sure.
woman dozed off. And this lady could have burned up, was rescued by her neighbor, fell asleep while smoking in bed, according to Palm Harbor Fire and Rescue. This happened on View Lake Tarpon in regard to the fire that happened yesterday morning. The neighbor broke down the door after the fire alarm and fire sprinkler went off. Was this like a condo or an apartment building?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to save somebody, you're breaking down the door.
The sprinkler system did extinguish the flames. The woman was transported to a nearby hospital. Non-life-threatening injuries, according to Channel 8. The Palm Harbor Fire and Rescue said a working fire alarm and sprinkler are very important. The sprinkler system contained the fire to one room and protected the rest of the building from the fire. This is a tremendous save by the building's internal fire suppression system and should be noted, according to Palm Harbor Fire Rescue. So please make a note of it. So how about that? So smoking in bed. Now, you ready for Papa Al story time?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Nothing, luckily. But my Papa Al loved a good cigar, just like you, Fester.
Is this a grandfather?
My grandfather, Papa Al. Great guy. Great guy. So my grandpa, Papa Al, they used to live in Queens, in Flushing, Queens, 169th Street and 73rd Avenue. They had in those row houses, they had a corner lot. And I remember that we were driving somewhere in Queens, maybe off of Utopia Turnpike or something or whatever. So we were in Queens, and we were not far away from the house, and there was a home that was just gutted. I mean, burned to the ground. And then I remember my grandfather told me that, the person died, and they were smoking in bed. That was the cause of the fire. And it burned the whole house down, killed the guy. I think it might have killed other people in there. And this is a story that my grandfather told me when I was like maybe 4 years old. And I'm sitting here at a much more advanced age, and I remember that like yesterday. I remember like where I was. I can see like the image. You know when things make an impression and you actually have like the actual visual of where you were, and you can see the background inside of the car. I mean, that's what kind of an impression that made. And maybe that's why I never smoked. I had no interest whatsoever. But that scared the bejesus out of me. When my grandfather went, look at this house destroyed, just charred cinders, and my grandfather said, guy died smoking in bed. And to this day, the minute I saw this story out of Palm Harbor yesterday, that the woman almost burned up because she was smoking in bed, I'm like, that story, the image of, the smell of my grandfather's cologne comes back. I mean, that's how vivid that story stuck with me.
So this one's for you, Grandpa.
Real American genius. Is that what you
No, it's like, it's the stories for Grandpa. We do it in honor of Grandpa. And the story that he really knew how to scar a kid, boy. I tell you what.
He did. I think he did.
Sounds like a terrible person.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure
in memory of Papa Al.
I'm sure he was great.
He was a pretty damn good grandpa. All right, 8:45 at the MJ Morning Show. I think we can go a little longer here. I always give you more than an hour and 20 minutes of non-stop MJ. Oh, speaking of horror stories and grandparents, Michelle, you saw this on the news with me the other night. The grandma and grandpa, they're like in a prison in Mexico because they have a dispute with their timeshare in Mexico, and they had issued a warrant for their arrest. They're locked up for weeks and weeks in a seedy, disgusting, nasty
maximum security Mexican prison. I thought of you and your not you. I thought of your folks.
Well, I've got a big. Yeah. My parents have a couple of weeks at a Mexican timeshare, and with my dad's condition, they're not using it anymore. And I've got no desire for their Mexican timeshare. Listen, I have no desire to even use the traded weeks to go to somewhere else. But that's a whole separate nightmare. Is when my parents pass, is that they've got I think they've got 5 weeks of timeshare, and it's my brother and I are we're dreading that nightmare of having to unwind my parents' timeshares. So
you should call that guy.
Are you aware of this?
Call
story?
the guy on the radio, Timeshare King.
Oh, not that guy?
Hey, I'll get you.
I'm Chuck. I'm the timeshare guy.
Get you right out of it. Sounds legit.
I'm not a lawyer. A Michigan couple's family says they've been detained in a prison in Mexico for nearly 3 weeks over a kidnapping extortion attempt stemming from a contract dispute related to their timeshare. On March 4th, Christy and Paul Aquillo of Spring Arbor, Michigan, landed in Cancun for a long-planned vacation. Paul, 58, a Navy veteran submariner. Is that submariner or submariner? How do you say that? Who now works as an engineer for the Michigan State Police, and Christy, 60, a retired small business owner, spend much of their time caring for their grandchildren, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they had an issue with this timeshare that goes back a couple of years. They thought it was all resolved. They land, and there's a warrant for their arrest, and they've been tossed into a nasty, seedy Mexican prison. Holy crap, Michelle, this is this has affected you. You're oh my God.
It's kind of scary because, we like to travel out of the country, and, you have that speeding ticket, or no, not the speeding ticket,
Isn't he wanted in Norway and Italy?
Italy for sure.
Oh, so no, I think hopefully that's resolved. So
see?
Hopefully
that's resolved.
Because they turned it over for U.S. collections. I got 2 tickets in Bologna because I somehow went into a local only zone and they weren't properly marked. It's a big old racket. Everyone knows that. There's a lot of Italian, traffic scams.
Everything in other foreign countries potentially is a racket. This is a racket in Mexico with these timeshare people.
Well, this is just unfortunate because they did dispute it, they believe, properly through their credit card company.
They thought it was resolved, but
right.
no, the resort, Palace Elite Resorts.
Doesn't sound that elite.
A Mexican hospitality company filed a complaint with the Mexican public prosecutor, and it led to their arrests once they landed back in Mexico. And they've been shoved in a Mexican hellhole for the last 3 weeks because of a timeshare dispute. If that's not like a repellent of not doing a foreign timeshare, I don't know what the hell is. And is there any movement on getting them out?
I don't think so. The judge said they could sit in jail for 6 months while they manage the pretrial situation.
They could be in a Mexican prison over a timeshare dispute for 6 more months.
So apparently in 2024, maybe 6 months ago, the wife, Christy, posted something about getting other people to read posts about fraudulent things in the contract.
So there are some. So they're accused of also instigating or trying to expose this timeshare operation for what they think are shenanigans. So they're using that against them as well, that they tried to advocate for other people to screw over their business. And there are a couple of components here, but still, listen, Grandma and Grandpa don't belong in a Mexican prison over a timeshare dispute.
Says you? That's a Mexican law.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a freaking nightmare. You want to hear another nightmare? You want to hear about the worst bachelorette party ever? Didn't happen in Mexico. You had a bunch of women, bunch of friends. They go on a bachelorette party. So if you live in Hooker, Oklahoma, that's what it's called.
That's the name of the town?
Name of the town is Hooker, Oklahoma. Yeah. What if you're a hooker from Hooker? You think they have any hookers in Hooker, Oklahoma? So if you're a woman and you're getting married and you got a whole bunch of friends and bridesmaids potentially, where do you go if you're in Hooker, Oklahoma? Look at the map.
It's a little.
Where do you go from Hooker? What's the big city where you go and leave to go for a big bachelorette weekend?
Tulsa?
Hey, you're close.
Omaha?
You go to Dallas.
Dallas?
So
Okay.
they went to Dallas, Texas.
All right, so Hooker, Oklahoma is in the Oklahoma Panhandle.
And, hey, Michelle, we might have driven through there, actually, because I always wanted to drive through the Oklahoma Panhandle, and we did one time. That's it. I just wanted to drive through it.
See?
Man, that's some barren-ass stuff out there, I'll tell you that.
All right,
Oof.
so get this. The name of the county that Hooker, Oklahoma is in
Slutolia?
is named Texas.
Oh.
So Texas County, Oklahoma.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Texas.
Wow.
I don't know.
All right.
Not very
So,
creative people out there.
An Oklahoma bride-to-be, her bachelor trip turned into an absolute nightmare, according to KFOR television. The lady's name is Canada Rinaldi, and her bridesmaids. They went to Dallas last weekend. They thought it was going to be the best weekend of her life. Supposed to be. But then some unknown attacker just bashes her in the face and lands her in the hospital, just like an unprovoked attack out of nowhere. The bride-to-be and friends were leaving a bar waiting for an Uber in Deep Ellum. Is that part of Dallas? And says all of a sudden a random man bashes her in the face and head and renders her unconscious.
Oh, my God, look at the picture.
Oh, it's unbelievable. There's a picture of her in the hospital bed in Dallas, and it looks like she was run over by a bulldozer. I mean, it's unbelievable. She says she remembers waking up in the ambulance and just asking what happened. You know, it's like Tiger Woods' mother. Hang on a minute, I got to hear somewhere. It's like, let me do it. It's like Tiger Woods' mother.
What happened?
There you go. So she wakes up in the hospital asking the question. She was left unconscious, broken nose, 3 broken teeth, 8 stitches in her face. She's got emotional scars. What the hell? She's like just stood in front of a mirror, started crying. I mean, she couldn't believe what happened to her. She's now trying to heal.
Is the wedding put off a little bit?
The wedding is set for April 26th. Is she going to be okay for the wedding?
I don't think so, looking at her.
And right now, all she hopes is that the attacker is caught and arrested. They haven't caught the attacker yet.
How's that?
All right, so here's a picture of her cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, she looks a little better, but it still looks...
The gurney picture, she looks like chopped meat. But now that she's cleaned up, you can see she has a pretty big bruise on right in the
It looks
middle of
like
her
Jake Paul got a real serious one off on her.
Yeah, wow. That's
I mean, she
awful.
still doesn't look great, but they're trying to find the person. She's got over $10,000 in medical expenses from the ambulance, hospital stay, ongoing care, and they don't have the attacker. A random guy. This is outside of a bar. A guy just comes up to them and smashes her in the face.
Yeah, the bar is located in a suburb of Dallas.
Yeah, so I'm told by Andrew that Deep Ellum is known as like an entertainment district or area of Dallas. I know very little about Dallas. I mean, I passed through the airport, but I've never been out and around. I've been out and around in San Antonio. I've been out and around in Houston, but I've never been out and around in Dallas. The only time I've ever been in Dallas, Texas in my entire life, in the airport passing through. That's it. That's a terrible story. All right, this brings to a close over an hour and 20 minutes of Nonstop MJ. We will start the 9 o'clock hour next. Coming up in just minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. A woman gets custom countertops installed in her house. You're not going to believe what happened and what she's saddled with. Wiener. All right, that's your teaser. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And then, Fester, a woman got put together on a Camry. You're not going to believe what her monthly payment is on a Toyota Camry.
You got to read all the rates, man.
Oh, my God. All right, hold on. We got a lot of stuff. We're back in minutes on the MJ Morning Show. I got Hollywood stuff. We're loaded. The last hour today is going to be phenomenal. Packed. And it's next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. If you need... All right, so Fester, you just got communication from somebody regarding my IRS problem that developed yesterday. Listen, we knew it was going to happen. It just took a long, long time. And the IRS is trying to smash me for tens of thousands in interest and penalties. And this all goes back to the fact that the U.S. freaking effing Postal Service lost my 2 priority mail packages that I mailed April 15th at 5 a.m. last year for estimated and tax due. And I've got all the documentation. We started a tracer. I've got emails back and forth with like the local postman. So I think we've got the documentation, but still it's a headache and a hassle. I've always paid my taxes. I've always been on time. The post office screws me over with my my priority mail packages that were dropped in the wall at the Tampa post office at 5 o'clock in the morning at the airport. And these things just vanished into thin air and have never shown up. And I got the receipts from the kiosk. I've got a picture of me. I was even making a bit out of it. Hey, guess what I did today? And I took a picture of myself with the packages getting ready to drop them in the wall. I've got a timestamp photo of me at the post office. Well, I've got the receipts from the frickin' kiosk machine. Then I've got all the tracers, the trackers. I mean, I got a pile of documentation. So, Fester, you're getting... And for those who don't know, when I was in the Philippines on my scuba trip, mail piled up. I come home. I'm just still going through all the mail. And son of a bitch, there's the letter from the IRS, which apparently was received about a week ago. And they want me to pay tens of thousands in penalty and interest by Monday, the 31st. So my accountant already responded to me because last night at midnight, I'm cam scanning all this crap and I'm sending it to my accountant. So he's already responded to me. Fester, so my accountant says, yep, that's what it is. So I sent him everything. He says, yes, it's because they did not receive your checks that went in with your extension, the tax filing. Depending on the documentation you say you have, we will likely be able to get the penalties abated, at least partially. Why not fully? Anyway, so I got to deal with my accountant later on. Man, I'm livid. I'm so pissed at the U.S. Postal Service. I'm not using them anymore. I'm not. I am done with the U.S. Postal Service.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
2020, 2025.
No, welcome to 2012.
Right, so hold on.
Okay.
So someone just contacted you as well. That's why I'm bringing this back up.
Yes. So they said that in this office complex where we broadcast out of, one of the other buildings has a local IRS office. And across the hallway is the Taxpayer Advocate Service, which is a government agency.
Right across, right in our complex here. We have
Yes.
that's the Tax advocate office. Somebody called about that earlier today.
Right, that's what she was trying to explain to you.
There's
one
in Washington,
but there's one right here.
In 9450 Koger Boulevard. It's the Duval building.
Oh, it's right down the road in our complex.
So before you leave today, you can probably pop in and start your claim, or wait till Monday when they're going to.
You know what? I'm probably going to. I pay my accountant a lot of money. I'll probably have my accountant handle this.
You know what? Hey, how about you handle this one yourself?
But listen to this.
How about you take away your IRS? Address it yourself. Give it an hour.
My accountant says I suggest you pay the balance today.
Mm-hmm.
So my accountant wants me to pay the balance, so that stops the rackage up.
Yeah.
What a racket! So it stops the potential increase of additional interest and penalties. So he wants me to fork over a boatload of money to the IRS today, even though I've done nothing wrong.
Your accountant sounds like a wet sponge, man. I'd get rid of this guy.
Not.
Yeah. I mean, listen, just pay it.
Anyway,
just pay it now, man.
I'm so angry at this. I did everything I was supposed to do. I paid more than my fair share of taxes over the years. And here's the IRS, Anyway, hopefully we have the documentation. I mean, I shouldn't have to owe anything. I paid them. And I did pay them. I paid them a month late because we were waiting for the checks to clear, and it was all postmarked in time. And then finally, as nothing happened, there was no trace on these packages. So the U.S. Postal Service said they're apparently irretrievably lost.
The penalty is on the month being late?
I owed the IRS estimated. I owed quarterly estimated, and then I owed tax due.
Right, and you paid both of those a month late.
Both checks were sent on time, but I ultimately finally paid them electronically on May 15th. We gave it 30 days for these checks to show up. They never did. So I have tens of thousands of dollars in interest and penalties for being one freaking month late.
You may want to handle this yourself. Just walk into the office. That's it.
Anyway, so I've got to pay the IRS today, apparently, and then hopefully get that money back or applied. Anyway, just a nightmare. I mean, thank you, U.S. Postal Service. You suck.
That's what it actually means. U.S. Postal suck.
There you go. All right, 9:08 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105, 104.7 FM. You know what else sucks? This woman gets a new quartz countertop installed in her new kitchen.
Yeah.
And, these quartz countertops, they're not natural. A lot of people think, oh, quartz is not. They're not. These are man-made. And I got to show you this thing. Fester, go to Google.
Okay.
Type in, they are man-made new countertops. All right? And that should bring up the site, the Daily Dot, where I saw this. And, Michelle, you got to take a look at this. So this homeowner, and I've got audio. You want to hear this? This woman, holy crap, she has her dream kitchen installed. You know what? She should have called CMK Construction, and then she wouldn't have a wiener in her countertop. And I've got audio that I pulled from this woman's posting online. You got to hear this. Hang on, where is it? Where is the, here we go. Listen to this. Listen to this woman.
So this is my countertop, and they are man-made. So somebody made this lovely little wiener on my countertop. And now we get to have this for a long time. Just great.
In the countertop design, there is a long-looking wiener that's in, like, the design of the counter. Did you find the picture?
I found the TikTok video.
I know. Hang on a minute.
And then I see a long shot of the kitchen.
I saw the actual picture. Where did I see the picture? I saw the picture. It's in the video.
Okay, well,
there it is. Look, right there. Stop it. Look at that. Look at right there. Look at that thing. Did you see that? It is. Michelle, describe what you just saw.
A penis
with stuff coming out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's.
Oh my.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
But that's what it looks like. It looks like this drippage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But this is a quartz countertop, and those quartz. It's not like natural marble or natural stone. these quartz countertops are they're engineered. There are man-made surfaces. They'll take like crushed natural quartz crystals, but then they'll add other like resins.
But is it random how the pattern? I mean, even though it's man-made, it's still a random pattern.
You're telling me what you just saw with this giant 3-foot wiener in this woman's like white countertop? You're telling me that was just coincidental that it formed that way?
I mean, I don't know. How are these things made?
I just told you how they're made.
No, but I mean, what's the process? I mean, nobody can sit there with a paintbrush and
it looks like someone painted a wiener, and now the company that put in the countertop, they're like, sorry, it's just, we're not responsible for the big giant penis on your countertop.
I think you see what you want to see.
All right, Michelle. Come on. There is no.
Okay, so it's a white countertop with 2 gray lines that are positioned slenderly, like next to each other.
Michelle, I see exactly what you're right. You see exactly what you want to see, and I want to see a big old crank
spraying out stuff.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. All right, Fester.
Yes.
You're in the RV business, so your real job is selling RVs.
Sure.
And listen, you want to treat your customers well. You want good referrals. But you know all about selling products and, when the banks get involved in financing, or whether people bring their own financing to the table, or whether you go through some of the lenders well, here's a deal where a woman buys a Toyota Camry at 19 years old. It's her first car. Her Camry payment is $724 a month. My God. I mean,
how much is the car?
All right. I don't have that, but apparently the average Camry, your payment should be in the 4s for a Toyota Camry, from what I understand. So I've got audio on this woman as well. And man, she is just fit to be tied. So she's saddled with this payment for a long time. Listen to this.
Okay, since a lot of you guys are so concerned about my car payment, it is $724. I did comment it on the comments, but I guess it got buried. I understand that you guys are probably being real with me and it's what I need to hear, but I already feel so bad. The whole situation stresses me out, and a lot of you guys are saying, oh, you did it to yourself. I don't care. My feelings are still valid and I'm allowed to feel the way that I feel. I never said anyone forced me to sign it. I never said anybody, I understand if I was 19, but if I thought I was grown enough to buy a car, I should have been grown enough to know what I was getting myself into. I just feel like it's messed up for a grown man who knows that they're me over to let me sign that. How would you feel if your 19-year-old daughter, sister, cousin went into a dealership and someone did her like that? You wouldn't let her, right? Because you know what you're doing. Not all of us have that. Not all of us have someone to tell us, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's a dumb decision.
I feel bad for her, but you got to go into you got to be educated. So some of the lingo that's used is, man, they chopped her head off.
They chopped her head off. They took her whole head off.
They also They put her together. Isn't that another?
She got put together on it, man. Here's the thing. Was it a new car or a used car?
She bought
She bought it in 2020 when prices were up, though.
Right. She bought her 2020 Toyota Camry in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably bought a year left over, or the last of the 2020s.
Her payment is a staggering $724 a month. And the story says that the average price, it seems that no Toyota Camry should be anywhere more than $500 a month, that you should be somewhere in the 4s.
How much is it? How much was the car?
I do not have.
Doesn't provide that information.
Yeah, I don't have. Now, also keep in mind
the rule of thumb is here's the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is $20 a month for every $1,000 financed on a car. So if you have a
I thought it was $30 a month.
Okay, fine. Let's go with $30 a month. Okay. She has a $30,000 car.
Yeah.
It's suddenly $900. So 30 is too high.
Yeah.
But $600 a month for a $30,000 car is to buy it, to own it without money down.
Also, there are other factors.
What was her credit like?
Well,
she said she had terrible credit.
Yeah, she has terrible credit. She got put together at a 15% rate.
That gets jammed up as well.
Yeah,
but
so this is her fault.
All right, listen, I felt bad for her.
I mean, if she bought it from a reputable dealer, they have a paper trail as to how they got to this payment. And it's not the dealer, it's the bank.
Uh-huh.
The credit rate you get is the best one you qualify for, not the best one available.
Right.
Did you see, I'm moving along here, did you see that there's a bill that children as young as 14 could be working overnight shifts? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea.
Please, I'll get Hudson a job right away.
That's here in Florida. So 14-year-olds could pull overnight shifts here in Florida as there's a move to roll back child labor laws here in the state of Florida. You know what? I'm thinking that a 14-year-old working a Circle K at 3:30 in the morning is a fantastic idea.
You know, MJ, here's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how political this whole issue is, but they're moving back labor laws. Is it because I heard some people claim that there's a shortage in the workforce now that there's a crackdown on citizenship?
On immigration issues that, listen, this whole thing, we have to yet to see it play out as far as the food supply in this country and a lot of the undocumented individuals that are hardworking. Yes, they're in the country illegally, but what's going to happen to food prices, our food supply? Are there going to be enough people to harvest the fruit and the vegetables that we rely on? A lot of this, listen, all the tariff things that are going on right now, which, even if your car is made in America, it's your prices are going up because so many parts come from all around the world for even the U.S. built cars. Listen, I don't want to get into all. I'm just telling you that I saw 14-year-olds could start pulling overnight shifts. I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, got to work the Wawa overnight, then head off to Plant High School. All right, maybe Gaither. All right, so maybe Chamberlain.
Lato.
Maybe Blake. All right, so anyway, I just don't think that's a great idea. Hey, if I were to say, name a music celebrity that helped pave the path for Jennifer Lopez, who would it be? Think about it. Which music celebrity is now apparently being mentioned as paving the path for J-Lo, for Jennifer Lopez? Who do you think it is, if you were to guess?
Is this person dead or alive?
Alive.
Oh, well then I'll take Selena off the list.
By the way, you saw that the woman that killed Selena, is it Selena? Selena. I remember we had just started the MJ Morning Show on the Power Pig. I think it was like 1994.
I stopped the music.
Yeah?
Yeah, so stop this.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now go on. Okay. We're not guessing anymore. You're telling a story now.
All right.
If it's not Selena, who is Gloria Estefan?
You know what? That's a really good guess, but it is not. Even a little before Gloria Estefan, who is being credited with paving the path for Jennifer Lopez?
Gloria Gaynor.
Nope. Let me give you.
Is her name Gloria?
I'm going to give you a hint.
Is it Rosemary Clooney?
I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a hint from a song that was a hit, but not as big as their biggest hit.
Okay.
Here is the artist that paved the path, they say, for That is correct. That's right.
What's Lisa doing?
Yeah.
Is this her saying it, or is somebody attributing it to her?
How Lisa inspired Jennifer Lopez to be a singer. So J-Lo is saying that it was Lisa. Because remember, J-Lo started off as a fly girl. Yep. Remember, she was on In Living Color. That was J-Lo's, first real break in the biz. But in getting her to be a fly girl, Lisa from Lisa and Cult Jam, that's what inspired J-Lo, and J-Lo is confirming this.
Okay, so
Lisa Velez, who is 59 years old. Apparently, J-Lo met her, and that was part of the inspiration for her. And J-Lo owes a little bit of her story to Lisa and Cult Jam. I just thought it was an interesting story.
So what radio broadcaster did you meet, MJ, that motivated you to pursue this career path? Did you ever meet, like, Harry Harrison?
It was. It was.
Did you meet him?
You know what? I never met Harry, but Harry and I touched base and communicated numerous times in the latter part of his life.
That's called corresponding.
But that's when you already had a career.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you weren't like, 12 years old outside of like, the Carnegie Deli trying to get this guy's autograph or something.
When I'm in radio today because of my love for radio and the fact that I was gripped by, as a kid, 5, 6 years old, I was absolutely enthralled, riveted to radio station WABC in New York. And I just remember 5 years old, maybe even 4 years old, that I loved the radio. I loved 77 WABC. WABC. Let me turn the Harry Harrison reverb off. Hang on a sec. I fell in love with WABC 77 back in New York City when I was a kid, and that is absolutely why I'm in business in radio today, 100%. And then, Michelle, Harry Harrison was a longtime morning guy on 77 WABC. WABC, the best music, WABC. How did I... let me turn the reverb back off. How did I get in touch with him? Or
did he live in this area?
No.
So Harry Harrison died in 2012.
Yeah.
So you did the entire first run of the MJ Morning Show, essentially.
Yeah.
During his lifetime.
No, that's the wrong Harry Harrison.
Oh.
It's
science fiction writer.
Yeah, that's the wrong. That's the wrong guy. No, Harry Harrison, because he used to listen to me on WOR. He even called me to congratulate me when I started doing mornings on WOR in 2015 up in New York City.
Oh, this Harry Harrison died in 2020. Never mind.
He died in 2020. He was like 90 years old. 89 years old.
Todd, this is Harry.
Yeah.
Doing good,
So that was that. Fester, to answer your question. So Lisa inspired J-Lo and Harry Harrison from WABC. The best music, WABC. Inspired me to be in radio today.
I don't care about any of that stuff, man.
What the hell do you care about
I'm
that?
just here to make the jokes. Where else can I make jokes and get a couple of dollars?
9:23 at the MJ Morning Show. The final chunk, and man, it's been a chunk. The final chunk of the MJ Morning Show here on a Friday is next. And then we got to fly out today, man. And I got to deal with this IRS mess with my account. Like, I've got the time for this.
What time's your flight?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Listen, dude, we dip out of here.
I got to take the dogs to the kennel and,
You get out of here about 10 o'clock. Take 10 to 10:30 and go by that IRS advocate office and just meet somebody.
You can't just walk in there.
Just walk in. Just walk in. Get some peace of mind that you have a card of somebody that works there.
No. You can do it on Monday.
Monday is when the IRS wants their money. I got to.
You know what?
My account says I got to pay the money.
Just pay it, and then you can meet with these people on Monday and see what advice they give you.
I got to send the IRS like a boatload of money today.
You know what?
Bastard.
Screw the man.
Yeah.
Don't send it.
All right. Okay. I'm sure that'll work out well for me. And I need to leave the country.
I told you that earlier.
All right. All right. 9:24 at the MJ Morning Show. All right. Final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next. I got a couple of bad issues on a couple of flights we got to get to. Are you aware of the whole Gene Hackman deal? Are you aware of the latest Gene Hackman stuff? Oh, there's some crazy new Gene Hackman and his wife that were found dead. Also, is there any truth that George Steinbrenner would be rolling over in his grave that the Rays were opening up their season at Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry at 4 o'clock today? Actually, I think first pitch is 4:10. All right, hold on. We got a lot of stuff Hollywood stuff I got to get to. We got long loaded segment next. MJ Morning Show, final one of the week here on Q105 104.7 FM. I have been corrected by the audience. I made a grievous error in the last segment when we were talking about the murderer of Selena, Yolanda Saldivar. So the killer of Selena.
Yeah.
She was just denied parole.
Good.
And I said that it happened like just when we were starting the MJ and BJ show on the Power Pig in 94. And I have 9 or 10 emails and DMs. It was 95.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a year off. Yeah. The woman convicted of killing the Tejano music legend Selena was denied parole this week. Yesterday. So the Texas I guess parole board announced that she's not going to get parole. Listen, you kill Selena, and wasn't she like the head of the fan club or something? It was like some nutto story.
She was such a big fan. I think they had some kind of. She was like head of the merch department. There was like money involved, or I don't remember all the details. But
was she embezzling money? And whatever the story is, somebody tied to the Selena fan club was her murderer, and this Yolanda Saldivar was denied parole by Texas authorities yesterday. So
she was the manager of Selena's Boutiques in 94.
Oh, man.
8 months later, she kills her. It's awful.
All right, well, I fully agree with not giving her any damn parole. I mean, you killed Selena, you ought to be locked up for the rest of your life.
See.
Yeah. Muy mal. Very, very bad. Anyway, so Hal Steinbrenner, the son of George Steinbrenner. Of course, we've got the Rays and opening day today. I believe first pitch is at 4:10 this afternoon. Rockies in town, right? Don't they suck? Don't the Rockies really blow right now?
I don't know that they're having their best years, but it's not a team they really play that often. Yeah. So the Colorado Rockies and the Rays don't get together too often.
Yeah, there was a story floating around that George Steinbrenner would be rolling in his grave.
Who said that?
Well,
did Hal say it?
Listen, Hal's denying that.
Yeah, Hal wouldn't say that. I'll tell you why.
Right. They're making like $15 million on this deal.
All that aside, $15 million doesn't move Steinbrenner. Listen,
yeah.
George Steinbrenner, Mr. Steinbrenner was a treasure to this community.
He used to roll into our studio. Yeah. Remember, he used to promote the fair. He was like one of the CEOs with the fair or something, or he did
the president of the fair for a couple of years.
He used to come into the studio. We had him in the studio numerous times, and George Steinbrenner was always great to have in the studio.
And
he used to see me around town. Remember, he used to. Where did we run into him? We ran into him at the Palm. Remember when the Palm had a steakhouse? What is it now? It's Besito, right?
The Mexican place.
The Mexican spot at West Shore Plaza. And the West Shore Plaza folks want me to remind everyone that the mall is still open.
Yeah.
Listen, I know. I go to the New Balance store all the time. I love that place. So where Besito is now used to be the Palm. I used to have my caricature up on the wall, which I guess got painted over or demolished.
They knocked your wall down.
You know, someone probably smashed my face with a hammer when they were ripping out the inside of the Palm. But remember we ran into George Steinbrenner several times at the Palm, and he always knew my name. What are you mute over there?
Well, my microphone wasn't on.
Oh, well, push the button and turn it on.
I'm not doing anything more than I have to.
So,
right.
yeah, but
remember running into Steinbrenner?
Yes, I do.
It was always nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Steinbrenner loved.
He used to drive a dark blue BMW 750 IL. That's what I remember him driving.
So
he drove his own car. He didn't have some driver.
He drove his own car.
Drove his own car. He had a BMW 750 IL, dark blue.
He lived what, in Palmacia?
Yeah, he lived in Palmacia. Absolutely.
But he loved this community.
Yes.
He was, he made no qualms about it. I think he would have been happy to help the Rays, whose stadium was destroyed in the hurricane.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is New York Post last night had a story. Hal Steinbrenner disputes idea, raises field rental, would have dad rolling over in his grave.
I'll tell you right now, I bet you George Steinbrenner liked Tampa Bay a lot more than he liked that dump of a city, New York.
Let me share this. It's a plus. Hal Steinbrenner is letting the Rays use a beautifully renovated George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa this season while the Trop is being fixed. Good for Hal, but folks who used to work down in Tampa for his dad, George Steinbrenner, aren't convinced George would have approved this arrangement at the field. The boss must be rolling over in his grave. One ex-Yankees minor league coach remarked he hated the Rays with a passion. He used to yell at the coaches when we lost to them in spring training. He used to go to Port Charlotte just to root against the Rays minor league team. I mean, there is zero, and I mean zero chance this would happen if the boss was alive. But while Hal didn't dispute the boss had differences with the Rays,
Sure.
he disagreed that his father wouldn't bail them out under these hurricane-related circumstances.
Absolutely.
I agree with Fester. I think he was a community-oriented, person, and he would have done it, whatever he could to help, the league, the teams.
Especially if he could stick it to Major League Baseball in some capacity. He was always kind of a thorn in their side.
All right, the latest.
Hey, if you want to test, by the way, if Mr. Steinbrenner is rolling over in his grave, he's right up there in a big mausoleum off of 54.
Oh, is he at Trinity Memorial Gardens?
Yeah.
Oh, he is?
There's a whole Steinbrenner mausoleum.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's go over there and see if we can hear any spinning in there. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. He would laugh at that joke. All right, so...
You hope.
All right. So, Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Great actor. Unbelievable. And everyone's been kind of enthralled with the whole story of how long was he dead on the floor, all kinds of crazy stuff. Do you know the latest now that came out yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has claimed their bodies.
Oh, no.
Gene Hackman's body is just lying in a morgue in New Mexico, unclaimed. The bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy, unclaimed, according to the New Mexico Medical Examiner's Office, more than a month after they were found dead. Bodies were found in their Santa Fe home back on February 26th.
Does Gene Hackman have children?
Yes.
He does. He has like 2 or 3 kids, but I think he has like an executor or somebody who's supposed to be managing his estate. I thought I read in another article.
But also,
that person should be responsible.
Yeah, but there was a rocky relationship. So he had 3 kids, Christopher, 65, Elizabeth, 63, and a 58-year-old Leslie. And I guess that he had a rocky relationship with all 3 of the kids. I wonder why. Come on, Popeye.
Well, he didn't. They're not in the will.
Well, that's who gets all the money?
Well,
I mean,
they're going to have to prove who died first. And I think they've already determined that, right? That she died first. So then her will said that everything she has goes to him. Unless he's not capable, then it goes to the mom.
Wow.
Her mom. But she died first. So everything would have gone to him.
But I read Gene Hackman has like $80 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a substantial amount of money.
Right. And so now I think he left the bulk of it maybe to like charity. He maybe has some trust set up. And but he does have somebody who's supposed to be managing his estate. I would think that that's the person who's responsible for collecting the bodies and making sure that they get buried as they like indicated or instructed in their documents.
Can I point something out? I've been married to you since 1994.
Yeah.
I always hate the way...
is that right? 1994?
I always hate the way you say buried.
You hate the way I say buried. You hate the way I say golf.
It's not buried. It's buried. You're buried. Like you're buried in a grave. You say buried. You say buried.
Buried.
I don't know why you say buried.
I don't know.
And then this is weird. One last little Gene Hackman thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Hackman's wife was concerned about being followed by a mysterious man before their deaths, according to her hairstylist. Is this like a new, a mystery that's added to the equation? Oh, no. Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa Hackman had two strange interactions with a man months before their deaths. In a newly released body cam footage obtained by Fox News, the classical pianist hairstylist detailed how a frazzled Betsy allegedly expressed concern about being followed on two separate occasions back in December by an individual that she had never seen before. She mentioned to me that there was a man that had parked outside their gate and followed them. Yeah, her hairstylist, a man named Christopher, told law enforcement on two separate occasions. One occasion is when they went to White Rock. They went to have lunch, and the guy had followed them and parked. This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
The hairstylists, man, they know all the dirt.
Oh, they do. Like, the hairstylists, they hear everything. So if you want to keep something secret, don't tell your freaking hairstylist. I'll tell you right now. Hey, good news for Harbor Island, which, this is amazing. You've got Davis Island, which is now Dookie Island because it smells like Dookie with the sewage problem. But right next to Davis Islands, Harbor Island has just been ranked as one of the best places to live in America. So you're telling me the Dookie smell from Davis Islands doesn't drift over to Harbor Island?
It's funny. In the Tampa Bay area, Harbor Island feels like a completely different place.
Really?
I've been to both.
Once you go over the bridge.
I've been to both Davis Islands and Harbor
I know,
Island.
but it feels like a different place.
They're within driving distance of my house.
You don't necessarily feel like you're in the Tampa area when you're in Harbor Island.
Really?
The big tall houses.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
it's built up a lot.
If you go way back on Harbor, you've got the gates behind the gates behind the gates.
Right.
It's
pretty exclusive going further back.
Yeah, you've got some exclusive stuff where you've got a gate, and then there's another gate and another gate. It's kind of like the Russian doll with the doll and the doll and the doll and the doll and the doll. Or like when you look at yourself in the mirror and there's one in front, one in back, and then you're in the mirror, in the mirror, in the mirror, in the mirror, in the mirror.
It's like the Harbor Island Funhouse.
There you go. It's all distorted. Yeah, so Tampa's Harbor Island, according to Niche's prestigious 2025 Places to Live in America, Harbor Island has been recognized as number 4 in the United States. What?
Wow.
How about that? So congratulations, Harbor Island. Linda Hogan. Is she having a breakdown?
It looks like it.
All right, Michelle, what do you know about the Linda Hogan deal?
Just, I guess, I don't know, was it posted on TikTok or Instagram? She was just kind of having an emotional moment and sharing how dysfunctional the family is. And she sort of she does blame Hulk Hogan for all of it. That, he had the relationship with Brooke's friend. And I guess that's kind of what perpetuated their
divorce.
Their divorce. But now Brooke is married with kids, but never even told her mom or her father that she was getting married. They have no relationship with. She has not spoken to Brooke in like 8 years.
Oh my God, Linda Hogan. This is according to TMZ, and wow. Of course, the Hogan family, the ties to the Tampa Bay area. Linda Hogan broke down on social media, tearfully telling her followers that her life's a disaster, placing much of the blame on ex-hubby Hulk Hogan. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had a huge fight with Terry. Oh my! So is Brooke not talking to either mom or dad?
No. Now Linda does still have a relationship with the son. What was his name? Nick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nick. All right.
But
what about the Grazianos?
Oh, they have a relationship.
Yeah. All right. Here, listen to Linda. So this is her on social media.
Okay, so I'm just home by myself today again, as usual. I'm okay with most things, but today something hit. I don't know what hit, but I look terrible because I've been crying. And yesterday I went to try to go have Botox and shit, and they bruised me like, I don't know. But it's been 15 or longer years since I got left Hulk Hogan.
Hey, Andrew, I think you missed a bleep in that, and my dump button didn't work.
Nah, it's all right.
Yeah. Thank you. think you missed a little bleep in there.
She's emotional.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's fleeting.
Yes. All right.
My family is in the worst mess. Brooke doesn't talk to us. She's had twins. She got married. She didn't tell us. She had twins. She didn't tell us.
Wow.
She had a huge fight with Terry. I don't know how that reflected onto me, but she cut me out too. I haven't talked to her for 7 years, almost 8 years now.
Wow.
And God bless Nick. He's still such a good boy. I've never put a Facebook post out like this with my ugly face and my crying face, but
Oh, wow. God, I feel bad for Linda Hogan.
She's obviously going through something,
But
you know.
then she starts ripping on the Hulkster.
I have to be honest about what I went through in my marriage with Terry as Hulk Hogan and what it entailed and what it has caused over the years and everything else. He's a complete liar. He is a sex addict. Yet he marches on. He marches on like, yeah, oh, I'm promoting my own beer, real American beer. Yeah, look at me. Woo! Yeah, he's such a hero, right?
Wow.
Not. Okay, I'm going to give him my thumbs down. I've given him more opportunities to come back and make us a family and try to I'm sorry, it's so sad.
Okay.
Would you shut that bird up?
It's been 20 years and I'm still this sad. Somebody please explain that.
God, I feel
don't know.
terrible for she's having a meltdown.
It doesn't get better. I do love living alone. I don't ever want to be married again after him. Trust me.
My God, we need to play this again on Monday and kind of maybe analyze this.
I don't know.
Is this a side effect of the Botox?
I mean, you want to talk about a family that I could or couldn't care
It would
less
be
about?
you couldn't care less.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Because I'm always correcting you.
You don't correct me.
Yes,
Will
I
you
do.
stop? You
I
don't.
could care less, and I'm like, no, you could not care less.
A lot of people say you could care less. No, you couldn't care less. That's the way you should say that. That is
So, Fester, you could not care less.
Or maybe I could care less and let me show you. I mean, I don't know. I thought I could care less was like a deeper insult because like I can take it even further.
Oh.
Because like I couldn't care less means I'm at bottom.
Yeah.
But I could care less.
I love it.
I couldn't even be giving you this much.
I love it.
I don't know.
I can't get to everything here. Oh, a couple of things we get at it. Lakeland. The Lakeland area has the highest rate of foreclosures in the country.
Really?
What the hell? Yeah, the massive growth around Lakeland in Polk County has made it, for whatever reason, the biggest foreclosure activity area in the United States with people not paying their mortgages.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. I had no idea about that. All right, man, I left a lot of stuff on the table. We just got to go. I got to deal with my IRS mess. I'm fit to be tied over here. All right, not
fit to be. Who says that?
Who says that?
I'm fit to be
What do you-
tied. You
Next
sound like
is-
my grandmother when she was pissed off. I'm fit to be tied.
All right,
He's going to the yarn store to get some crocheting material.
Give my going to be on a little pizza mission this weekend up north. Give my Instagram a follow, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. You need to drop me an email. I'm MJ@MJMorningShow.com. All right, we're back Monday morning. Michelle will not be here Monday because Michelle will be
Traveling with Chloe.
Doing some things.
Well, Michelle gave you the hush hand. Why you don't want to know what law school you're visiting?
Michelle comes in late on Monday night and says she's not going to be here Tuesday either, but she'll be here Tuesday morning.
You're finally going to go visit the school I told you about? Oral Roberts out in Tulsa?
They go to see the University of Phoenix Law School. Yeah. All right. We'll see you back here Monday morning, folks. MJ Morning Show on Q105, 104.7 FM. Have a great weekend. And as always, let's be careful out there.
Download the app now. Get the Q105 app and listen to us anywhere. Powered by